Let's kick it old school. Old school essentials. The further adventures of the Thunderous Fury.
It is the Further Adventures of the Thunderous Fury, session 57. And before we have the recap, we will go to our favorite paladin. Well, could be our favorite paladin. But Karn, you are captured, obviously, by the Ape Empire and taken through a portal. A lot of this is kind of hazy because they managed to beat the shit out of you. You were treated by an ape doctor who gave you healing, and you do specifically remember him fussing about the soldiers, about how hard and brutal they were on you if they were going to take a prisoner, why they were beating you up, and he kind of just complained about the sheer violence. And I would make a side note: yes, this is the same doctor that the players eventually burned his office.
Well, I'm glad we didn't kill him.
Yes,
Now,
thank
mind
you.
you, we burned his office, but I'm glad we didn't kill him.
You were brought into a room. This room is actually really nice. It has a bed, clean sheets, a nightstand. It has a small window, and the view out the window is absolutely incredible. It overlooks the entire city. You can see the water. You realize you are really high up in the air. Ape soldiers come by every couple hours. Also has like a pit toilet with a lid. They come by with water and food. I mean, you're not getting like gruel. You're getting like a decent meal. Lots of vegetables.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, they're vegetarians too, aren't they?
Yes, for the most part. You're getting like really good treat. The only thing that you have with you, you don't have any armor. All your weapons were in that tent that were picked up, I believe, by Basil Wilberforce.
Yep.
The only thing they left you with was that weird idol.
Okay.
The one you got in the Underdark.
Not my spider hat.
Yeah, they left you with the spider hat. They know that it's magical, but to them, it's like, it's pointless. What are you going to do with it?
Talk to spiders.
Yeah, sure. That just proves their case.
I just get this vision of, the spider in the room and Karn preaching St. Cuthbert to it and driving the spider out of the room by preaching at it.
So converting the spider to Cuthbert, sending him out to bring in more minions that we can convert until I build up a spider army dedicated to Cuthbert and overthrow the ape.
Big plans. Karn's got big plans.
Dreams have to start somewhere.
They do. They do.
But it's kind of hard to determine how long you have been here. It hasn't been very long. But you are resting or praying. Also, there's a couple books in the room. One is about a person they call Saint Linus Lindbergh, who is actually the architect of Lindbergh, and he's an ape, and it talks about how he built the city and blah, 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 blah. Something for you to read. But there's a knock on your door one day.
Karn can't read.
It's written in common. He can look at the pictures of the buildings.
Okay.
I was going to say 7
I don't know if we settled that or not. I think he couldn't read or something.
I would think you'd have rudimentary common. Big words would probably be a challenge.
Yeah.
Like rudimentary.
Rudimentary.
There is a knock on your door one day.
I'm praying, and I say, I finish off the prayer, and who knocks?
Karn Stone, may I enter?
I'm a prisoner here. You can do as you wish.
You hear the door unlock, and the door opens, and there's a dwarven man standing there. He is in commoner's clothes. However, he doesn't strike you as a commoner because he is well groomed and manicured, and his gray beard is trimmed, and there's a certain perfume smell coming from it. And he stands at the doorway and he says, "May I enter?"
Well,
He's a
I've never
vampire.
smelled a prettier dwarf than you. I suppose you may.
He chuckles at that. He walks in, but he has got something in holding under his arm. It looks like a rolled up mat or something. And he comes walking in. He says, "Well, Karn Stone, it is good to meet you."
Well, thank you, dwarf. What is your name? You have me at the disadvantage here.
Yes, I am Stonehenge Runeborn, or as some call me, Empker Runeborn.
The Imcore, you say?
Yes, of East Anor. You are familiar with Clinkville, I would assume.
I am familiar with Clinkville.
Yes, I am newly appointed. My cousin was removed recently.
That was your cousin, you say?
Yes.
Oh, well, sorry that your cousin had to suffer a fate like that.
Oh, I think he'll bounce back. He is of a wealthy family, and I think he'll be okay.
Well, perhaps if he had followed the straight and narrow path of Cuthbert, then such things would not have happened to him.
Yes. And he turns and he turns and looks at like the guard at the door to close the door. The guard closes the door. You hear a lock. He says, "Yes, precisely. I wish to speak to you, but..." And as he's doing that, he reaches into his cloak and he pulls out a candle. And he sets it on the ground and he sits down. He says, I assume you're praying, so you're sitting already?
I was probably kneeling.
Okay, so he sets the candle between you and him. He says, "I have a few things I wish to find out, to talk to you about, considering what has happened in Clinkville." And he gets the flint steel out and he strikes it and he starts to light the candle. And the candle gives off a glow. It's almost like a blue glow in the room. He said, "Now we can speak in confidence."
I'll change my position from kneeling and sit cross-legged across from him and put my hands on my knees, hands up, and sort of in a reverent position and say, "Well, okay. In confidence, does this mean that you believe that nobody can hear us?"
Oh, they will not be able to hear us. Some of the old ways still work.
The mysteries of the arcane are, well, a mystery to me, but I'll take your word for it. I have no secrets from anyone.
Yes. Well, let me see. I have this gift for you, and I have a proposal for you to consider, at least. I do not expect an answer now. But I am originally from the Adventure Islands. So my family was born there between Darius and Clinkville, where most of the dwarves call is sort of our home territory. But there was a time when my father was sent to Galeth, which is south of here, to assist in reconstruction of the city after the Hobgoblin Wars, which would have been around 1700. I was a small child, and one of the places that he helped rebuild was called the Bishop Lovecare St. Cuthbert Mission.
I am familiar with this mission, although I've never been there.
Yes, I am told it is still active, though it is underground. But it's
everything with Cuthbert has to be underground now.
Yes, but at that time, it was the official religion of the Ape Empire. This is not spoken about in a lot of circles, and those who remember do not speak about it because they may lose their station. However, those at the mission were very kind to me, and before we left, we were given a gift by Bishop Taffy, the elven woman who ran the mission, and I still believe still does run the mission. And my father handed it to me, and now, as he takes the mat out, I will present it to you as a peace offering. And he hands you this like cloth woven mat that is rolled up.
What was the elvish lady's name?
The elven Bishop Taffy.
Bishop Taffy. You say this came from Bishop Taffy. her kindness and her wisdom are legendary. And I'll hold it up and unroll it.
So even though it's probably been kept in pretty good condition, it's very faded. It is a little bit dusty, but as you look at it, it is set. It's like got 4 squares, and in the center of the square is a figure, but each square represents the tenants of Cuthbert. In the top left, it says, written in Simian. He points out, this is vengeance, and it shows what looks like Cuthbert. It's just an outline, and his flaming mace coming down, attacking like hordes, what look like probably goblins, as he's like crushing them. And then another one at the top is retribution, and it shows again the figure. It's hard to see, but it's presumably Cuthbert pushing like looks like idols, like statues down, like pushing them over. And then in the bottom left is compassion, and it shows Cuthbert kneeling, and there's all these animals around him as he's like holding them. And then the fourth one is mercy, and it shows Cuthbert handing somebody. Again, it's hard to see his face, and it's just the outline. He's handing, looks like somebody, a cup of water, and it's definitely a prisoner because you can see the shackles on him.
Okay.
And in the center is the image of Cuthbert, and he's got his mace in the air, and it's distinctly the image of an ape.
So Cuthbert was an ape.
Well, that's what this map shows.
I got a question. What was the second tenet? I just didn't.
Vengeance, retribution.
Wow. Somebody seriously bipolar there. Vengeance, retribution, hey, compassion, mercy.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
right.
all sounds like any of the other religions that have come down through the ages, right? You've got the one side and you got the other, you know. So totally out of character. Was Cuthbert really an ape, or is this, something that is being conflated by the ape empire to subvert the word of Cuthbert? I'm trying to decide if Karn would see this as heresy, or if he would actually know, oh yeah, he was an ape, but he was.
Yeah, that's probably the first time Karn has ever heard that Cuthbert was an ape.
Okay. But so he would probably view this as heresy.
He might, yeah. However you wish Karn to view it as, you can view it, yeah.
Only it's coming from Bishop Taffy.
Yeah, an elven woman, yes.
Purportedly coming from Bishop Taffy.
Right, yes, yeah.
He strokes his brow and he stops and he thinks. He says, I was never taught that Cuthbert was of a simian descent. This seems strange and odd to me.
Yes, that would make sense. Sometimes, is Cuthbert really a person, or is he an ideal?
In my heart, I believe that Cuthbert was a real man.
Then he most certainly was then.
So it is your thought that Cuthbert is more of an idea rather than a one person to be followed. And what you're saying is that Cuthbert is there for all, not just for the humans. And obviously that would be true. Cuthbert would accept anybody in his fold.
Yes, I think we see things with a certain filter. I'm sure that if you were to find those followers of Cuthbert who were dwarven, you would see the image of a dwarf. But I'm not here to parse religion or theocracy with you, Karn. It's just a gift that I thought that you would appreciate. As you know, I am now the Empker of East Anor, and right now I have a problem. I have St. Cuthbertites outside of Clinkville, ready to fight and wage war against those of the Ape Empire and those who support it inside of Clinkville. And I do not wish for more bloodshed. I do not wish for this war to spark into something bigger than it needs to be. That is why that I have an appointment with the king himself, Varro. And I wish to speak with him. And what I will speak with him is on this issue. I will tell him, I will ask him that to make a small compromise, a small portion of East Anor outside of Clinkville will be a free religion zone for the Cuthbertites to exist without any problem from the Ape Empire. In exchange for this, Karn, you will go to Clinkville and speak with Josiah, who I think you know, who is leading this uprising, and tell him to drop his arms and stop the war.
And if the king promises this, how do we know he will be good to his word?
Because he is an honest man, and I will take him at his word.
I am going to have to pray to Cuthbert about this for guidance.
Yes, I would expect no less from Carnstone.
But I will say this, it is a tempting offer. Suppressing people's religion just doesn't seem right to me. And this is the crux of the entire problem with what's been happening in Clinkville and in so many other places under the heel of the oppressive Ape Empire.
Yes, yes.
And that's why the heel feels oppressive. I mean, I'm here in this wonderful prison. I've been treated wonderfully as a prisoner. I expected rats to be gnawing on my heels and fighting them off for scraps of bread.
You are a distinguished guest, Karn. The Ape Empire does not want a martyr.
And there's the real answer.
Yeah. But Karn is too oblivious to catch that. Well, I would gladly give my life for Cuthbert, but I would need some way of some assurances that we could know. There would have to be declarations made. There would have to be pardons given. I mean, there was a lot of damage done in Clinkville.
Yes.
However, I'm sure that Josiah and his people would be happy to help make repairs to those as well.
Yes, we can have discussions about how things will be fixed, obviously. Some things cannot be undone. And I would expect that...
Well, war is hell.
Yes, it is.
But peace only happens one way.
Right, when someone wins.
Or when both sides decide to stop.
Correct, which I hope that is the answer. Because King Varro has different advisors, which, of course, I am not one, because I am not an ape. That would gladly just wipe the entire Cuthbertites out in one fell swoop. I don't wish this. I don't want this, because this will just precipitate more violence. And I will be the one to have to deal with it. And I don't want to see it happen to where I am from.
Why is it that they suppress Cuthbert anyway?
It happened a long time ago. It was done by King Valor around 1743. Though it cost him, he had to abdicate his throne because of his sympathies to Cuthbert. But as you know, that was 140 years ago.
So King Valor was dethroned because of his sympathies to Cuthbert.
Yeah, they kind of ousted him because of his sympathies. Even though he banished, he outlawed the religion.
I think that not only should there be a free zone, though, but I understand that there's been some bad blood, but if somebody decides to worship Cuthbert, it shouldn't be something that's going to lose them their livelihood, lose them their life. I mean, there should be a freedom everywhere.
Correct. Yes, Karn, I would tell you, as not as the East Anor Empker, but as Stonehenge Runeborn, that I believe that. But we must take the slow and steady path. Incrementalism works every time.
Some would say that there's a rat. I'm not going to go into it. The ratchet effect. That would be above Karn's intelligence. There is a certain wisdom to your words, I suppose. Perhaps we can pray together. And he begins to lead a prayer to Cuthbert.
Okay, yeah, he does the reverent thing and kind of closes his eyes and gives proper prayer to Cuthbert.
I do some common, call and answer type of prayer that's common amongst Cuthbertites,
Okay,
I
he actually knows them.
Okay. So he at least is that familiar with the worship of Cuthbert. Okay.
Yep.
He says it's been good to share fellowship with you, brother.
Yes, Karn. And just be careful of those who you associate with, so they don't tarnish the Cuthbert image.
Yeah.
He's talking about the rest of the Thunderous Fury.
Oof.
Some people are going, somebody's talking about me. I feel like somebody's talking about me. Never mind.
Karn is a challenging character to get into that mindset because I'm so non-religious and he is so religious.
He's offering a whole area.
Yeah, but how big is that area?
Maybe they just want him. Maybe they just want him corralled in one spot. So if they need to get him out of there, they can
get them all corralled in one spot, and then you can just move in and wipe them out. Which is something that's going through Karn's mind because he may not be intelligence, but he's got wisdom and military training. So for every person in this area, there would need to be a person in another area that's hidden.
So he you say your goodbyes or whatever. He licks his fingers. He puts the candle out. The blue glow just vanishes, and he puts it in his pocket. And he says, "Oh yes, I think this belongs to you as well." And he pulls out of his pocket and drops a silver coin that you would recognize, and says, "I think that is yours."
I did have a few of those. Yes, I did. Thank you.
Whatever you decide. I will be in Lindbergh for a few days. Hopefully I will not be called back so soon. The king is very busy with appointments, and those bending his ear, just let them know that you wish to speak to me.
Well, and I am going to be easy to find. You shall always find me right here in this room.
Yes.
Mostly at the ablutions, although I do find that I miss my dog.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I haven't heard anything about the dog in forever. What did happen to the dog?
Dog's back with Remy.
It's back. Okay, Remy dog. Good.
Yeah, because I didn't take the dog into the battle with me, so I would have left him back at the camp.
So he kind of knocks on the door, and there's a soldier there, unlocks the door, and kind of nods, and the soldier just kind of gives you a dirty look and closes the door and locks it.
And when he gives me the dirty look before he closes the door, I say, "May the blessings of Cuthbert be upon you. Have you heard the word of
Slam!"
Cuthbert?"
And lock the door.
He said, "I'm not trying to hear that shit."
All right. And now it is time for the recap.
Oh,
that was fun. Thank you.
Hilarious. All righty. So, on the alternate crew, let's call them the alternate crews, first night over in the capital, of course, they wake up to the door being kicked in. Oh, wait a minute. It's the door next door. no, wait a minute, there is somebody in the room, and it's Basil Wilberforce, who found us and snuck in the night and decided to not bother anybody in any case. So we get a rude awakening, but not necessarily a dangerous one. We meet Bertram outside. We wander about a bit, get some pointers on the lay of the land, and we end up at the Shrine of the Missing Sailor and go in. Unfortunately, at that point, all of us have to save versus spells. We all fail, and we see our favorite little divination ape, who gets a good look at all of our faces and shakes his head a lot, because, of course, he recognizes some of them. So Bertram announces the boss will be there shortly. The boss turns out to be a gold-toothed ape in a violet seersucker outfit, because, of course, the revolutionaries have to wear violet outfits to be undercover. There you go. In any case, the ape, we find out why the guys get scry is because the ape takes out some chalk, removes the painting from the wall, and corrects the marks made by Bertram, with some grumbling at Bertram for messing it up. He informs us that rescuing Karn is a trap, and there are a couple of days max before the Empire comes looking for us. Clintock, of course, being who he is, has a plan already. Basically, he wants to get a big assembly together as a distraction, and who knows what from there. But considering it's Clintock, probably lots of murder. In any case, so Clintock asks for a controversial thinker, a half-elf named Samor, and is trying to get Samor to publicly recant, while we use that as a cover for the rest of us to break out Karn and leave. In any case, there are some discussions on other opportunities other things we can put in place at the same time. But what's that on the wall? The glyph is burning, so we figure that yes, indeed, somebody is attempting to scry on us. We follow Bertram, sort of scatter a bit, and follow Bertram to a secondary location in the back of a tavern. Basil Wilberforce is not too happy about getting probed by the ape, and uses a potion of ESP to check on Bertram's mind to see what the heck is going on. And it turns out Bertram is just, not that great at drawing sigils, as we ask him about, what happened back there, et cetera, et cetera. But the guy who brings our food back and feeds to the back room is thinking thoughts like, oh, I'm going to retire early. That looks good. So, but before we can actually stop him, we get informed on. There is some back and forth with Bertram. We managed to pry out what he was keeping away from, what he was told by his boss not to say. There is a black crystal in town, and if we set it in the Grand Mausoleum, probably a lot of bodies would come back to life and cause all sorts of fun for the capital. And he also mentions that apparently this was tried previously by an agent of Lobistus, an agent from hell. So who knows? But in any case, the current guy with the crystal wants to get rid of it and is fairly harmless. So Bertram talks about getting up with him. But as I was saying, before we can actually stop it, we are surrounded by apes. Orion throws up his fancy new fog cloud, and the rest of us try to break through the fog and get away. But of course, everybody is being pursued in one way or another. Tamil, Clintock, Zophon, and John Tor are together with 6 apes chasing them. We're headed generally towards the treasury. Tamil drops some caltrops and manages to take out 5 of them, amazingly enough, which is absolutely fantastic. Zophon finds a bamboo pole because, of course, being an acrobat, he can do lots with a bamboo pole. Unfortunately, they still get caught, and the ape knocks out Zophon, but Clintock makes it up the wall of the treasury, and John Tor follows him. Tamil, however, decides to take a completely different path and enters the treasury by a side door and locks the door and manages to talk his way out of them, and manages to wander through the treasury without getting caught. So Clintock catches Zofan with a grappling hook and manages to pull him up and turns the pursuit back on as we are jumping from roof to roof, desperately trying to get away from the apes below who have called for reinforcements. In any case, Clintock pinches the tile off the other side, hoping to pull off some of the apes, and we go to another building with John Tor deciding he didn't want to become a pincushion with all the crossbowmen below and jumping across rather than going across on the rope. We grappling hook the shrine to make it look like we're going over the shrine, but we actually stay in the current building and enter into it and start wandering around inside. In the meantime, Basil Wilberforce is being followed by one ape. He ends up getting turned around and heading back towards the tavern again. And he too takes to the roofs, climbs up the wall, jumps across the roof, and ends up, in a house of ill repute. Except apparently it's a house of good repute because it's a really nice one. And so, of course, Basil decides this is a good time to take some personal time because, of course, being pursued by the ape empire is a great time to take personal time. And talks the lady he's talking to into a bath and a massage, as well as getting some clean clothes. Basil Wilberforce definitely knows the life. Our third group, Basil, Essex, and Felix, are being followed by four apes. Felix tries to throw a guy in their way with no particular effect, but they manage to duck into a building and at least break line of sight and then duck into a laboratory from there. Basil Essex sits in the stall while the world passes him by, or maybe he's just passing something by. Who knows? But in any case, they manage to hear no pursuit for a while and essentially wander out, talking to people on the way out, and leave and head for the Botanical District. Unfortunately, they get close, but they see soldiers guarding the bridge to the Mechanical District, one of which spots them and begins following them. Felix and Basil Essex split. The ape follows Basil, who immediately turns invisible and manages to break free. Back with the largest group, there is a very how shall we say this, Three Stooges moment, as the apes are searching rooms as the crew of the Thunderous Fury desperately attempts to not be in the room that they're searching, and finally each of them splits up from the main party and uses their own method to distract the apes and get out the door. So amazingly enough, everybody's out. Everybody's free. We managed to get across the bridge and meet Bertram. And I think that's pretty much where we are. All right. He's going to introduce us to the dwarven guy with the black crystal. He does so. And of course, we see earwigs crawling out of the guy's clothes. Ha ha ha. Shades of Wagonbow. We know exactly what's going to happen if that crystal gets used.
Right. So, yeah, you guys are in the Botanical District. It's late in the evening, the 20th day of King's Choice, the 4th day of toil. It's like 50 degrees. And Clintock has just shaken hands with Nufus Smeltwhelm, the dwarf who has like a scarf over his eyes because, as Bertram said, he lost his eyes in some sort of accident. But you see he's got a scraggly beard. His teeth are rotted. When he shakes hands with Clintock, the earwigs come from under his cloak and get onto Clintock. And Clintock kind of shakes his hand, and the earwigs go on the ground and scamper around. And they appear to go like into his house. He's got a one-story like little farmhouse. He also has posts set up with rope, presumably to help him get around the house, because he can't see.
That sounds familiar.
And his clothes look dirty and they smell a little bit. And he kind of seems to look in your general direction. He says, so what's everybody here for? I can sense 3 or 4 of you at least. It could be more.
This is the door.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Basil just skulks in the back.
I wonder how the Solus shows up. Well, we understand that you no longer feel capable of being the shepherd for the Black Crystal. And
Whoa, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And he smiles, but there's basically no teeth in his mouth. It's just big, rotting mass. And he coughs and like an earwig comes out of his mouth. He brushes it away. Yeah. Well, you mean, yes. If I was to have such a thing, what would be your interest?
Are you asking how much it would cost?
Can you put a price on something like that?
You can put a price on anything.
Unfortunately.
Damn, I really wish Clintock were here because I'm sure he would talk. I'm sure he would talk this guy through it. Oh well. John Tor, by the way, is being an absolutely terrible guest and sort of wandering around touching things and just.
Well, technically, you're outside. He has not brought you in the house yet. You're outside.
Okay, he hasn't brought it. Okay. He's
yeah, but
still
there's
gonna be distracted and disinterested.
Yeah, there's like there's like rusted farm equipment and plows and stuff, and his grass is overgrown. Yeah, and it's
Ryan goes, well, if it is truly priceless, then perhaps we can come up with something we can do for you that
yes
is some entrance for your interest.
Yes, I have to. Yes, some money to help keep up the place and feed my livestock. And he kind of goes around with his rope to the side of the house, and he points in the direction like where his backyard is, and you see what he says his livestock are wood, like somebody made like a wooden cow, like out of pieces of plank wood.
Is it like a silhouette?
Yeah, kind of like a silhouette. And there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they've sort of been haphazardly painted. None of them have eyes, though. He said, "Oh, I got to feed them."
And perhaps we should go inside to.
Oh yes, come inside. Let's talk. And he. He's following his rope up to his front door.
This sounds frightening.
Basil will follow.
Okay.
And then Zofan would follow, but like tepidly. Then watching every step he takes because they're both concussed. So he'd be like, they're not looking. They're looking for the next concussion.
Right.
Zolfan
John Tor
more than Basil.
Yeah, John Tor is actually not going to follow inside immediately. The guy points out his livestock, and John Tor looks at the guy and looks at the livestock and wanders over the livestock and starts poking them. Like, what? Is this magic?
Yeah, they're just wood. You realize that you poke a hole right through them because the termites have eaten them, and there's like nothing behind them.
Tamul's going to walk over to John Tor as he does this and just kind of go over to him. Just, it doesn't seem like he's in his right mind, John Tor.
Yeah, okay. I thought maybe he, animated a wood golem or something, but I guess not. Why didn't he give him eyes? I mean, I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't have any, but why wouldn't he give him eyes? John Tor's going to wander around and poke eye holes in the livestock.
Yes, he most certainly can do that. So yeah, as you both of you guys are doing that, well, as he's doing that, and Tamul is like, watching him. You look, and you can spot like 20 yards away a large piece of concrete, like setting, like on the ground, like it's setting on something, and like some of the grass is like falling to the side, but it stands out. You can see it like a cover.
Oh, like a cover. John Tor has, standard teenager span of attention. So, once he pokes holes in livestock, he'll go, oh, wow. This looks like it may be over something. Tap, 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 tap. Is this hollow?
We can't be sneaking around this. And at that, he's just going, you don't know what that is.
What? I mean, it's out in the open. It's not like it's going to be a great big secret. It's sitting right out
in
here.
his yard. It's in his yard, John Tor. What if that's where he keeps his valuables?
Oh, like the rotting wood that he calls livestock?
Mm-hmm. And Tamul, he's going to just like turn around and just like head back to the door and pull out his coin purse and give this poor dwarf, this poor guy, half of his money, so 30 gold pieces.
So John Tor and Tamul, as you're looking at this, it's a circular piece of concrete. Some of it edges have chipped off, but it has got to be a foot thick, and it is sitting on the ground, presumably over something.
Absolutely.
If he gives him 15 gold pieces, Basil Wilberforce is paying close attention and is trying to decide if he can steal that 15 gold pieces.
I'm giving him 30 though. I'm giving him 30.
Or 30, whatever.
So Zopham and Basil, Felix and Clintock are outside as Bertram is talking to them, and you enter his house. He opens his door, and his front room, he's got what you would say would be a couch, but there's no, it looks like a piece of cloth over some wood. There's like no stuffing in any of the cushions there, and he has a shelf. Like a cabinet with some shelves, and all the stuff on the shelf are all broken pieces of either pottery or glass. And he has a rope that goes all the way around so he can walk around and he's like, let me get you something to drink.
Yes. He looks around at the couch and the guy's like, oh, what do you have? Like, let me get you some sherry, and it's just like sawdust.
Whatever he has, it better be alcoholic, because otherwise I wouldn't trust it further than I could throw.
He pulls out a jug, and he kind of reaches for a couple glasses and pours it out. It looks red. It's like some wine.
Thank you. And Tamul, he'll take it. He's not going to drink it, but he'll just take it. Okay.
Yeah. The glass is a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
And you see that where he went into the next room, which is kind of like he's got like a little wash basin and a place to start a fire. And in this, where he has set, where the jug was sitting, is there's actually ice in there, which is keeping it cold.
Oh.
Huh. Wow. So Orion will sniff it. Does it actually smell like wine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's really strong.
Oh, Orion will say, wow, don't think anything bad's growing in here. And, actually start drinking it. Not quickly, but.
Zopham's not going to, but Basil will. Zopham is an expert in concussions and knows that you shouldn't drink alcohol while under concussions.
Tamul, how do you hand him the money? Like, do you hand him in like you hand it like in your like putting it in his hand, or you hand it in like in a little sack, or?
Yeah. I'm just going to like put it directly into his hand. Just count out 30 and just.
Oh my! I don't know what to say. I'm so thankful.
You're welcome.
So since Tamul has provided the carrot, Orion's going to provide the stick here. Orion will go, I don't know whether you hear gossip from across the empire, but we've run across one of these things before, and sooner or later it's going to start attracting monsters. And the monsters are definitely going to go after your livestock, and who knows what else around here. It really is to your best interest to get rid of that thing as soon as possible.
It is dangerous.
Yes. And he has the money in his hand. Like there's 30 gold pieces. He has to cup both his hands to hold it. And he kind of walks into a side room, which you see is he kind of pushes aside a curtain which is made of cloth, but it's got holes, moth holes in it, and it looks stained. Kind of pushes it aside and can someone assist me, please?
Yeah, what do you need?
Basil Wilberforce runs right up.
You agree, son of a bitch. Tabul will follow him as well.
All right, you walk
Of
in
course
there.
you need some help with that. That is a lot to hold.
Orion will attend. Well, I don't know how good this guy's hearing is. So Orion sees Basil dart towards the gold and basically doesn't say it out loud, but mouths, waves his hand in front of Basil Wilberforce and, mouths, remember the goal.
So as you go back into the small room, it is bedroom. His bed is like sitting on edge. It's got some pieces of, there's a frame, but you can see the frame is broken and rotted. And his mattress or mat that he is sleeping on, it looks dirty and covered in stains. And going up like spider veins, going up the wall is like this black moss that goes all the way up to the top of the ceiling and hangs like a stalagmite, right? Yeah, stalactite.
Stalactite because they hang tight to the ceiling.
Right, it hangs like a stalactite, and you can see it dripping some sort of black ichor, and it lands on the floor. And he says, "My safe box is somewhere. I should put it in there so bandits don't come. If they hear that I've gotten this money, they may try to steal it. I think
the bandits are here.
I think it's under the bed."
Do you need me to look for you?
Oh, yes.
He doesn't instantly go there, but he's like, he's been here before, but he hasn't been here before. So he like taps the top of the bed and sees, how bad the dust is that comes up.
Yeah,
and
you
reaches
hear
his hand
something
underneath.
skitter under the bed, that has legs. Like,
no.
And then I look over at our guest to see if he has a reaction when he hears the skitter. I mean, our host to see if he has any.
No, he's kind of just like he's in his own little world.
I'll take out my little dagger and I reach down to the boards, holding the bed up, and I rap on them a little bit with the dagger first.
Yeah, you hear some more skittering.
Do you have a lamp?
I haven't needed one in quite some time.
I'll need some light to be able to see underneath of here. Does that dagger that he has? God, I haven't opened up the file. Does that dagger that he has? Does it glow or anything? That magical dagger?
You mean the one that's like the fire one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could say it gives off like a red glow.
He's got that in his hand already. That's what he was wrapping.
Okay.
Board of. He uses that to try to see underneath of there.
You see a rusty metal strong box sitting under his bed, and then as you're looking, stuck up underneath the bed, there's got to be hundreds of black spiders.
He looks around the room and sees if there's anything that he can use to push it out from underneath of the bed.
There is a sword that has been a sword and a shield that has been mounted on the wall.
He jumps up and grabs it, and as he pulls it off the wall, it says, "You don't mind if I use this?"
That's
right?
purely for decoration.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I just want to. And he runs over underneath the bed and he uses it to sort of pull that out from underneath the bed.
Yeah.
I'll put it right back. I'll put it right back. And
it scrapes along the floor. Yeah.
How does that sword feel when I grab it?
Really heavy.
Okay. He puts it back up on the wall.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I just needed. There was a spider or two underneath there, and I've got this thing about spiders.
Okay.
Karn's troops. It's Karn's troops. He's coming to rescue us already. The spider.
But Basil does really have a thing about spiders.
Yes, he does. That's right.
Yeah. There was that time.
Many times that, yes, you ran into spiders. I was like,
why does it always have to be fucking spiders?
Yeah, so you got the strong box, his little rusty strong box out from under the bed.
And I'll hand it to him.
Yeah, he just kind of walks over and he's like, "Can you open it for me?"
Okay, and I'll use the dagger to try to pry it open.
Yeah, you just flip it open. Inside is some papers that have been folded up and they look like moldy.
Yeah.
And there's a couple like 3 or 4 copper pieces and like 5 gold. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he dumps all that in. Clang, clang, hits the strong box. Can you put it back for me so they don't find it?
So I pick up the strong box and act like I'm pushing it closed as I turn around and turn my back to him.
Yeah.
I try to pull out the papers.
Okay.
Without him noticing and set it back up underneath it.
Okay. Yeah, no. He's so yeah, you unfold the paper, you get some like dust come off it, and it's got some holes. It looks like what's Basil's intelligence? He actually has pretty high intelligence.
Actually,
he's really smart.
It's 16.
Yeah, it looks like a land deed, like the deed to his property.
Oh, I'm definitely stuffing that into my pocket.
Okay.
Vacation house, here we come.
Yeah.
That's how we turn this into a flipping. We can just become flippers, get deep. This is the start of the empire.
I'm sorry. Any place that's near one of those black crystals, is a vacation house from hell.
But we're going to get the black crystal out of here.
Yeah. The property are going to soar.
If we do, he's probably going to drop dead shortly because, chances are really good he's undead at this point.
I'm looking around the room as well while I'm in there and seeing, just taking a quick inventory of anything that might pique my interest. Not just money-wise, but, but money-wise, definitely.
Not just money.
But, I mean, this seems to me like this might be a bedroom. This might be a place that keeps a secret. And that was why Basil was wanting to go there. At this point in his career, 30 golds is not enough to really tempt him that much. He wanted to know where was that 30 golds going because he could
Right.
find secrets.
So there's a nightstand that is away from the bed, but on top of the nightstand looks to be a vase. It doesn't have any water or anything in it. It's kind of dirty, but what stands out is the fact it's not broken.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a clear ruby color. It looks, probably well made.
It's a gin container.
Mm.
Genie container. Whatever.
Well, I suppose we should go back out to our friends. You know, they
Yeah,
have
yes.
business to discuss.
Yes, you want the crystal, then I have no reason to keep it. You've been more than kind to me. I thank you. And he makes his way out of his bedroom holding onto his rope.
I open the door for him so he can head out in front of me.
Yeah, he pushes the curtain back and he heads outside.
I make a long arm and grab that vase.
Remind me you got it.
Okay.
So he heads out and leads by the rope and makes his way to where the large concrete, pieces sitting on the ground. He's like, I put it in there. I did. I put it in there.
Now that we're looking at this, Orion looks at this apparently foot-thick piece of concrete and goes, how do you move this thing?
Oh, you would need, I have some tools. And he kind of leads his way around, goes around. You can see like, he's had set up ropes, but they've fallen down. So he's kind of knows his way around, and he goes to a clump of grass that now you can see is kind of like a chest. It's probably rotted, and he's digging in there, and he comes back with like 3 crowbars and some other tool that looks like it's a long rod, and it's got like a trigger on one end, and on the other end looks like a skeleton hand, and when you pull the trigger it does this. It's like a little grabber, and he kind of makes his way, and they're all rusty and wet, and he drops them. He says, you could probably, I lined the inside with lead and another compound that I used when I was at the foundry, so it should be fine.
People know that you have this.
Not told anyone. Bertram's over there going, whatever.
Because if you haven't told anyone, then how did we hear about it?
Right.
Yeah.
Bertram isn't anyone. He's not important.
Yeah.
So
Fine. Well, I mean, there's 3 crowbars. I'll look around at this group and let's see, what is Orion's strength?
I will tell you, you need a combined strength of 35.
Oh, I got 12, so.
Basil's got 13.
My Basil has 9.
No, we got it. I've got 11, 12, 13. That's 36.
Okay. So 3 of you grab crowbars.
And we got 3 crowbars, and we got 3 people who can total up to the sufficient strength. I know Wes's character is not here, but we were sort of planning on using him to be the mule because, well, his soul is already sold to somebody else. So it's not like so he's more resistant to it than otherwise. But, if we can't, we can't.
Right.
We got the grab.
Karn made the saving throw the last time against it.
Yeah.
Well, that was the weird hand.
Oh, I thought that was the crystal. That was basically. Oh,
No, that was the dude's hand that you wore.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, Timol's got a crowbar.
Okay.
John Tor, Orion.
And Basil.
Yeah. Nope, not John Tor, Orion.
Oh,
Orion. Okay, the 3 of you have the crowbars. You're gonna. So how are you doing
And
this?
by the way, and as we start, Orion looks over at John Tor and said, "The thing is insanely dangerous. If you try to touch it, I'll kill you. Put your hands behind your back and don't bring them out until we get this thing wrapped up." John Tor's like, "I wouldn't do anything like that." As he drops a piece of stuff that he had picked up randomly in the yard, sort of puts his hands behind his back.
Timol's gonna like go over to the side, just all right.
Let's all do it together, folks.
All right. So the three of you do it. You don't. There's no roll required. So you're using crowbar. You got the combined strength, and you lift. This thing is friggin' heavy, and it just boom. And as soon as it slides off, insects or black whatever flying things come shooting out of there, and the three of you get to make save versus death.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
So Saver's death. We want
I'll
above.
use my black die.
Oh,
17.
I'm gonna use that hustle point. Put that
All right,
Nice.
let's see. Yeah, that's it. All right.
nat 20.
Okay.
Worse.
This was a nat 1. So we just went from one side of the spectrum to the other.
Best use of a hustle point so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
I successfully made it the first time. Did not have to
Okay.
use my hustle
So when you
point.
do that, it looks like some kind of flying insects. It's hard to. Some of them they look like flying earwigs, and some of them almost look like flying like pickled fingers or something. And as soon as they hit like the sunlight, they burst and burn up and just turn to dust.
Wow.
And they're just nothing.
Well, I think get the grabber then, right?
Before I stick my head over that thing, Orion will sort of reach the crowbar over the entrance and swish it around a little and tap a couple of times before he actually puts his head over the hole there.
So yeah, you peek and when you look in, you see that there's that black moss. Did you go into his bedroom?
Yeah, Orion was there.
Yeah, it looks like the same black moss has covered the inside, and wherever the light is hitting it, you can watch it retreat. And it's sort of like tendrily, and it's kind of retreating back into the darkness. And at the very bottom, it's in sort of a well. It's probably 30 feet down. Is this small sort? It almost looks like it's pulsating crystal at the very bottom. He says, "I know it's still in there, right? It's still in there. I can sense it."
How the heck do we get down?
Oh, I might have a ladder. Let me look for it. And he grabs his rope and starts wheeling around his yard. You see him like venture out like 100 yards away. He's like going through, picking up pieces of boards or something. He's looking around.
Oh yeah, I trust the ladder this guy provides just about as much as I.
Do we have any rope? Like, I'm pretty sure one of us has rope. It's not me though.
I have some rope pipes himself now. And he pulls out like dust. He pulls out a coil, not a like rough hewn hemp rope, but like a nice fine silk rope. Is there anything that we could? Does it look like there's something that we could tie it off to? There's something that
Basil has
doesn't look like it's like rotten with termites.
Basil has a grappling hook that we could use.
Nice.
Actually, we could just tie it around the stone. That is probably the most solid thing on this property.
Like hook the grappling hook under the stone, and then
that cap requires a ridiculous amount of work.
Also, Tamul would like to inspect and see like if the what you call it, the black stuff, the black moss or whatever it is, is it actively like running from the light? Because he's going to light his lantern and see it's like actively like running.
Yeah, when you go put it down there, it moves away and starts to retreat.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay. Crap.
It is abnormally dark down there.
Okay.
Unnaturally dark. That's a better term.
Oh.
You know what?
But you can see it at the bottom pulsating.
Who's going to go down there?
Orion says, "Give me a minute. I got an idea." And I'll catch up with our host and ask him if I can have another sip of that drink. I'll get it myself. I just want to ask him if he'll get, have another sip of that stuff.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm right there." And as he comes walking,
Basil's
got
got some torches he can throw down there too.
he's
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna soak it in rotten wood and light it, but okay, if you've got torches with you.
you see you see him coming around with, like, he's holding a ladder, and it's got like it's kind of bent, and as he gets halfway there, the bottom half of it like breaks in half. He's like, "Oh, well, I'll have to go back to get that. This is the one I used," and you can see it's rotted and falling apart.
Right. We got a plan. Extra torches. Are we sure we can't use Wes's character for this? Never mind.
I would say so. I will say that, like, his status as far as no soul has no effect.
Okay.
So yeah, it wouldn't have benefited you.
Basil says, "Oh, if you're looking for light," and he lights up a torch, and he drops it down in the hole.
It lands like next to it, and kind of you can see the stuff kind of move away from it, and the torch kind of goes down. It like drops like 2 feet, and slumps and starts to move. You're looking, and you're like, "Oh wait, there are holes where the lead is. Like, you can see it looks like Swiss cheese down there. It's not solid."
Well,
Jesus.
I did my part, and so somebody can go down there now.
Oh boy.
And Orion looks over at Tophan and goes, "No offense, but you're the better climber."
Well, whatever we're going to do, we need to hurry. It's the fact that we've taken the lid off. It probably means that they can scry for it now. And Tamul, he's going to basically tell ask someone to hold the lantern, and he's going to light his staff.
Okay.
And he's going to start climbing his way down there with the staff lit.
Okay.
Brave motherfucker, Tamul.
You brave. You brave as shit.
Just hold the lantern. Just someone hold a torch in case,
I got your lantern. I got it right here.
I've got one of the
15 feet away from
bullseye
the wall.
lantern or whatever it is. The one that's hooded lantern, the one that's directional. So yeah, I will make sure that there is a light beam on Tamul as he goes down in honor of his memory and bravery.
What? Don't write me off just yet.
So Tamul is moving down, and this is the portion of the episode where we roll for initiative. And I will tell you right now, Tamul, you need to win.
God damn it. All right. Let's see. I'm going to use my blue dice. D6, maybe.
All right. My roll is a 5.
Oh.
Tamul, what's your
black pudding.
what's your point?
What's your dexterity?
Oh, are we adding that?
Yeah.
Oh crap. -1, so that's a 3.
Maybe let somebody else roll that.
Oh yeah, you know what? I can use my also point actually.
Is it-
Thank you for reminding me. Let's see.
Yahtzee dice. Go find a Yahtzee game and roll the dice.
So with the -1, that'll be a 5. So
And that you go first.
okay. Shit.
And let me tell, this is exactly. So I'm. You know what? I'm going to make an assumption here. I may be dangerous, but I'm going to assume this is probably not going to happen. So as you're scooting down and you've got your little light, you realize that he said that he lined this thing with lead or whatever he said he did, but you realize there's holes that have been like eaten through, and you see something coming out from one of the holes. It looks like some sort of slug snail like thing with black tentacles start to reach out, and you can see its beady little, what you would think may be eyes, but they're probably more like sensors or something, start to reach out for you.
Oh,
But it seems to be a bit hesitant because of the light, but it is staring. It's like sensing that you are right there.
Yeah, well, he's going to use that hesitancy to climb back up.
Okay.
We need an actual plan.
I was going to feel bad. I was thinking, man, I don't want to have to kill his character right now, but that's probably what's going to happen.
Is there a way that we could lower the grappling hook on the rope and hook the thing we're trying to get and pull it out?
Yes. Oh, that sounds much more reasonable. As he's like squirming away, like on the ground, like from the opening.
What's the matter, you? I mean, it's just a hole in the ground.
No, there's things. They reached out at me. It's some tentacles of some sort.
Oh, so you're saying that's a whole lot of fuck that?
Oh.
So, okay. Well, Orion's going to like risk pissing this thing off, but at this point, I don't think it can get much worse. I still got, remember he started out with a lot of oil. He's still got some oil left. So he's going to, Tamil, this is, I don't know if I described the character.
Before you do that, is it something that we can grapple hook out? Like, can we fish this thing out?
Yeah, we could maybe try that before.
You're going to try to fish with the grappling hook, fish the crystal out?
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it's something that's possible. Is it on a base or is it just a crystal laying there?
Yeah, it looks like it's just sitting in this moss, this black slime.
Okay, so it's a crystal. How big is the crystal?
Is it like similar to the size of the other crystal we had that we put into the? Oh, it's like that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's bigger than that softball.
Big.
So it's like the size of a pineapple.
Okay.
Oh, that big.
Yeah.
That big. I mean, is there a reason we can't fish it out with the grappling hook? Can we try?
I'll give you an attempt.
Okay.
Give me roll under your decks.
Okay.
You need a specific number, not just under your decks, because this is pretty complicated.
Okay. So Basil has a 14 dex.
Okay.
And I'm going to need my low rolling dice.
And while he's doing that, can was it you said Orion and Tim will get our oil flasks ready? Because I'm going to use mine too.
Unless you stop him, Orion's just going to dump a couple of oil flasks in there and make sure they hit the torch and light the place up for a few minutes. Unless you stop him, he's just going to light the place up for a couple minutes until the oil burns out.
Now, another thing that that Basil has is a large empty sack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sitting here. Okay, I do some wild shit to be able to manipulate things from far away. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, yeah, a large sack and a grappling hook. How many feet down?
30.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. That would be tough. I don't think that's going to help him any at all.
And I mean, you could go back down there and this creature's in the dark. It presumably hates light.
You're not getting Basil down that hole. Let me tell you that much.
John Tor, can't you make objects illuminated or something? I think we've seen you do that.
No, the only spell I know is sleep. I could try to put it into sleep, but somebody will have to go down and bait it out first.
We'd have to bait it out first, yeah. Let's try it first with the grappling hook first. Let's see what we can do with the grappling hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I'm going to do this. I got a 14 dex, and I rolled a 15.
Was
okay.
it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it would be very difficult to do. I mean, it would be kind of a tricky thing to do with the grappling hook.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good thought. I mean, he does have that little grabber tool.
How long is it?
It's probably like a foot long.
Oh yeah, right.
What's the grabber tool?
It's got a little handle, and it's got a skeletal hand at the end.
Yeah, so we don't have to touch the actual crystal.
But could we use 2 ropes, one to lower it down and one to actuate the hand?
A rope to manipulate the grappler thingy?
No, if he's got that grappling tool that's a hand that's from a foot away,
So
one rope lowers it down and one rope makes it grab.
pulls the handle. Zofan, don't acrobats have rope use of some sort?
I'm pretty sure they don't. Yeah, they got tightrope walking.
On purposes. Yeah, you're right.
Tumbling. Yeah.
I like your second idea there of, using the grabber at a distance, but in order to have, enough tension to pull the trigger closed, we need to attach a weight to it or something.
How far does this grabber go out? Do we know?
Like a foot, he said.
Yeah, it's just a foot. I mean, it's just enough to keep you from actually touching the damn thing with your hand.
Does Tamul know light?
Yeah, I have it on my staff. It's only on my staff though.
Oh, okay.
That's the issue. So Dustin, it doesn't say I can't throw it, activate it, and like toss it down, but it's only for like a turn. So by the time we get done deliberating, it'll be out. So
Gotcha.
it's a turn per level, and I can only do it once per day. So
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious.
I like the idea of, tying one rope to the grabber and then one rope to the trigger and sort of pulling the trigger, but we're going to have to weight the grabber so that there's enough, tension that you can pull the trigger with the other rope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this whole place is full of rotting wood, but is there is there some stone? Are there some stones or something that we can?
Yeah, I mean it's a big field, and there'll be a stone or something. Yeah.
So that's the idea. Is basically, put enough weight on the grabber that it, that you can pull the trigger remotely. Because otherwise, you try to pull the trigger and it's just going to pull the grabber back up. So you have to weight the grabber first. Spend some quality time trying to figure that out. Let's see.
If that doesn't work, I could always fly down.
What? What? What are you saying?
That's right. You haven't used that yet.
I haven't used it today.
That's right. Yep, you're right.
Basil says I have a trinket that will I can fly for 1d6 rounds.
What the hell you been waiting for?
I'm concussed.
And that him flying won't prevent Mr. Touchy Feely from coming out either. So,
but maybe he can go by so fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Could we bombard the area with oil and then let him go past? Like let's let it burn for a little bit maybe, and
Maybe
then just like
cover Basil in oil so that if it does try to grab him, it just slips right out.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Well, but wait, there's already a torch down there. That's a bad idea. Crap.
We can just wait for the torch to burn out.
Let me try my grabber trick. If that doesn't work, we'll let Basil be the daredevil there.
We have options.
We do have options.
Yeah. What do you want me to roll? I don't have any particular skill for it, so.
So it's going to take 2 people, right?
2 rows.
Yeah, realistically, yeah.
Okay, so 2 dex checks. I mean, you set it up. It's a little bit unorthodox, but it sounds pretty good. I'll let you know.
Who's got the best dex? Basil Wilberforce has got a 14.
I've got a 15, and I'm going to be one of the people rolling. So
Zofan has a 15.
Zofan should help you.
Zofan is concussed.
Zofan,
Oh.
Zofan
he's
has
a minus
Zofan should not help you.
Zofan is a -2, right?
Zofan's -4 because it's
4.
still the same. Remember, he was concussed earlier today when he was
Okay.
slammed into the wall.
So that's actually an 11, not Zofan.
Yeah.
Anybody got better than a 14?
Mine's
No.
is 8, so count me out of all dex checks
that-
going forward.
Orion sort of snickers and looks over at Basil Wilberforce and goes, "Yeah, I know you're good for getting your hands on things. Come here, you be trigger man. I'll lower this thing down."
Yeah, just keep on talking, big boy.
You know I love you. I backed you up with Karn several times, dude.
Well, that's because you're his best friend, even though he doesn't know you were like the first one to throw him under the bus and want to leave him there.
Yeah.
How you think he's going to feel about you when I tell him about that?
Mm.
Anyway, go on. Lower it down. I got this.
Can we not try this right now? Okay. In any case, if it's a dex check, I rolled a 4, which is my dex is 15. So that's
Okay.
like
All right.
That's awesome.
11 under. I got it right on top of the thing.
All right. It's up to Basil W.
All right. Last time I rolled a 15, so I got a different die. Let's see how this one goes. That is an 11.
So
Is
you
that
managed
enough?
to grab this thing and pull it up. You can see like moss or slime sticking to it, and it kind of like slips off, and you start to raise up, and you can see it dripping as you're pulling it up, still pulsating out of the well, and the sides sort of like gravitate to it as it goes by, like they're attracted to it, and you see these tendrils come out sort of touching it, but they don't hold it up, and you pull it all the way out. As it starts to hit the light, you can see the light start to hit it, and some of the black slime starts to just instantly begin to burn off of it, and it's like dust is falling off of it.
Remember that large sack I said I had? I've got it open, and I'm like,
Okay.
let's chuck
Yeah.
this in here and not touch this thing.
All right.
Well, I'm going to do something similar. He puts it in one sack. And what I'm going to do is get a second sack and pack the bottom with dirt so the crystal won't be, even if it breaks through the first sack, it won't be directly touching the sack. So hopefully it'll be a little less likely to just fall out. And I'll tell him to, you wrap it up first and then dump it in here, and we'll double wrap this thing because I don't trust it. I don't trust this thing at all.
Yeah, you do that. You put it in the sack, and then what?
You touched it last.
Who has the sack?
I look at Orion and go, you touched it last.
Orion looks at John Tor, who has full plate, which should include metal gauntlets, and go, "You're it. You're up."
Everybody else is standing around.
Not it.
John Tor's like, "Man, do I have to? I'm still working for Gruel here." Orion gives him, the beady eye and say, "Yeah, wait a minute. Nope. Okay. I'll make up a great song about it and be your wingman when it's time to go out chasing girls. We'll make you sound like a hero." "Oh, okay. If you say so." Except John Tor isn't completely stupid, so what he will actually do is take his shield, his metal shield, and sort of scoop the bag up into the center of the shield.
Okay.
And hold it by the shield.
All right. Very good. All right. So yeah, he's got it right there. you can see as like in moments as it's sitting in that bag, you can see these little spiny black tendrils kind of poking through the sack and like, but as soon as they do that and the light hits it, that sort of burns them and it's like they instantly go back in. It just seems like it every few moments, a few of them come out and like burn back.
I feel like we need to do whatever we're going to do fast.
Yeah.
Like in the daylight, before the sun goes down. Who's got holy water?
John Tor's like, yeah, can we get rid of this, please?
Does anybody have holy water? Is there a church around?
I've got a bottle of mead, but that's about it.
Pretty sure that's the opposite of holy.
Hey, Vikings would consider it holy.
Would they?
Probably.
Yeah.
So Nufus is like, did you? Oh, I sense you've gotten it. Can you close the hole so I don't fall in?
Of course. And you know, he's gonna take up the crowbar and just try his best to get this
you
thing.
managed to do that and you push it back.
Orion will help.
Okay. Yeah, you push it back in. A few of the little critters sort of like scoot out, but as soon as they hit the light, they just turn to dust, fade away, and it is closed. Oh, okay. Thank you.
We need to find a containment vessel quick.
Contain.
And you see the sack turns black, almost like Vanta black.
Are there any shops nearby?
You're in botanical district. Let's take a quick look.
Yeah, if we buy a pot, maybe put a plant on top of it.
The only thing that's nearby his place are some stables. And as you're kind of sitting there, you see two people look like elves, you would say, probably, riding by on bicycles.
On bicycles?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
And one of them, as he's riding by, stops and he's like, Nufus, how have you been? He kind of gets off his bike and he's like, hey, you've got some friends over, I see.
I step over and try to block the view of the shield with the sack. Like stand between this person and the shield.
Oh, yes.
But
Artemis.
I am nice and
Artemis,
clean
nice to
and
meet you.
smelling good.
Yes. Artemis, nice to meet you, sir. We just hoping Nufus, we've seen him out here. He seems to be, he doesn't usually have guests.
We just came by to give him some alms and help him a bit.
Well, how kind. Yes,
Yeah.
I'd usually drop off some food and some water and drink for him.
Do you help repair the ropes when they inevitably fall down? He kind of like looks over to them.
Well,
the part of where the ropes are.
Yes, it's constant maintenance. He seems to get around okay. He's kind of trying to look past Basil. Like, what's going on?
Nothing's going on here. I mean, we're just we're helping him clear out some stuff nearby.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
and my friend Tamul gave him some gold so he can buy some things that he needs.
Oh, well, that's excellent. That's quite charitable. Are you some sort of charitable organization or something?
Oh yes, we're known as the Charity of Fury. The Furious Charity.
I could just see the gears turning in his mind. It's got to be something here. It's got to be something.
The COF. He's like he nods like, oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
The cough.
Orion will sort of.
What you get with the charisma bait?
Yeah. Orion will sort of sidle up to Bertram and go, we need to get going. Can we help us get rid of the busybodies here? Do you know?
We were just talking about how we need to be able to find ourselves some kind of a chalice of some sort. Maybe you could lead us somewhere nearby where I can pick one up.
Oh, well, I mean, you probably won't find much here in the botanical district.
Oh, sure. That's why I'm going to need a guide.
Oh yeah, you could go to you go to the market the market district and go to the general store.
I start walking towards the road as I put an arm around him and go, maybe you could show me the way. And I start walking in that direction.
Yes. Well, sure. Anything to help a
wanna
charity.
We want to make sure our friend here has some a nice way to imbibe of things.
Oh, okay.
His dishware is non-existent.
Yeah. Well, he does have that one he keeps by his bed that was given to him by his late wife, but
Oh, I didn't see that. What was that?
it's the ruby one that the vase thing.
Oh, that's not good for drinking out of.
Well, I mean, to each his own, right?
Oh, I suppose we wanted to get him something a little bit nicer.
Oh, okay.
Something a little bit more suitable, something with some dignity to it. Maybe because that way he can just keep that to remember his wife.
Yeah, something with something like pewter. It's a strong.
With a handle, he's getting old. He needs to have something to grip onto.
Yeah, but big, heavy enough where he could throw it at someone. Like those kids who keep coming on his lawn.
So that way he can throw it at him and get off my lawn.
Well, I'm Artemis. I would gladly show you since you seem to be new. And
Oh yeah, I just came in on a ship yesterday.
yes, he kind of looks over. He looks behind at the lot of you. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I will. Let me return my bike, and I will be back.
We'll be right here waiting for you.
Okay. So he gets on his bicycle and turns around and heads down the road to another farm, and he comes walking back like 10 minutes later.
So I've stolen his keepsake from his wife.
It's pretty rough, I ain't gonna lie.
He could have been a terrible person.
Yeah,
he could have been. Yeah.
Or he could be lying.
It's also a possibility.
So yeah, he so you go let's see, botanical district. Yeah, he takes you down a road. You can see as it's getting late in the evening, the sun has not set yet, it's still daylight.
Damn it.
You start passing, you see like crowds of people, and you realize they're headed towards the Lindbergh train station. He tells you that these are all the workers who commute. They come into Lindbergh to work in the industrial district, and then they commute. They take the train back to like Silvery Moon or one of the other cities, Thornbriar or Pryor Station. So he kind of not directly past you, but you can see, like 50 yards away, like them all kind of making their way to the train station, because it's not in the town proper, because nobody wants that kind of noise in their town.
Yeah.
So he starts to lead you through the market district, and there are various people selling wares. The sun is setting, so people are kind of like picking up things as they're leaving. A human man comes out as you're passing. He's like
a good old human man.
Good old human man. He's got an apron on and a cutoff shirt with a beard, and he kind of steps out of the road as he sees your group walking by. Are you still have the thing on the shield walking?
Like a beard?
Yeah. Well, what's he gonna do? Put it
No.
down?
I'm asking you. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. John Tor is still holding this thing out at arm's length
Okay.
on the shield.
And I'm guessing like probably you guys are like walking around him, so he's not obvious. Well, anyway,
exactly.
He steps out. You can see it's Max's tailor and leather shop, and he's got an apron. He walks out and he goes right up to Zofan. He's like, "Oh, are you okay? You seem to be staggered. You seem to be staggering. You almost stepped in that ditch."
Oh. Sure. Oh, sorry, who am I talking to?
Oh, I'm Max.
Hi. Oh, Max. Oh, thank you for looking out for me.
I'm over here. I'm over here.
Sorry. I was talking to. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
You don't seem well. Are you okay? Are you?
I suffered multiple successive head injuries, so I'm about as okay as one could be.
He looks. You have, and he kind of looks. He sees the scar. Doesn't he have a scar on his face?
That was one of them.
Yeah, he's like, it can be dangerous walking out here, and he points to all like the potholes in the road because it's basically just, hard dirt, but there's like potholes and stuff. It's gonna be dangerous. Hold on, I think I have something just for you. Wait, and he runs inside his store.
And Zofan looks around and is like, what's the Ape Empire doing about this? Aren't the citizens taxed here? Where did those tax dollars go?
He comes running out, and he's got like he's got a sack in his hand. He comes running out, and he pulls out of the sack. It looks like some kind of leather helmet, and he's like, "May I?" I'd like to put it on your head.
He will allow this.
Okay. And it's like a leather. It looks like the old school leather football helmet.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing.
Puts it on his head. He's like, "This should help protect you. I mean, you don't need any more injuries."
Zofan he just stares off, and you don't know if he's thinking or if he's just a manifestation of his current condition. But he's like, I never thought of a helmet before.
I think it. Yes, you just let me know. It's sort of a prototype. I mean, hopefully it will help you. I don't know what your profession is. I don't what you do, but
I'm an acrobat.
Okay.
He gets professionally hit in the head a lot.
Anyway, it's free of charge. Just let me know if it works or not.
He looks around. He's like, "How will I find you?"
Oh, right here, and he points to a shop. I'm Max's tailor and leather shop.
Max's tailor and leather shop.
Sorry. Just you seem like the right candidate.
Walking around completely fucking concussed. Yeah, there's the right candidate.
Well, thank you. If it doesn't work, I probably won't be able to make it back. But if you do see me again, it has presumably worked. And you are Max?
Yes, Max. Yes.
Do you have any special leathers?
Like, what do you mean?
Like different colors and shades and hues.
And he looks at your. Do you still have you got the jerkin of many colors on, or is that hidden?
It is hidden underneath, but what he would do is like this guy looks like he knows his way around a leather shop, so he might because he put clothes over it, so he would make it visible.
Yeah, he looks at it and he's like, "Oh," he notices it's torn. He's like, "What happened here?" Apparently it was ripped. It looks like some kind of hook or something got into it.
Orion looks over at Basil Bessics and goes, "Is this really the time?"
I don't know. He seems like he's getting
We can come
stuff.
back. We can come back.
If you want me to work on it, I can if you leave it with me. I'll fix it. You come by it later and I'll have it done.
Very well. That would be great. I would appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. He's looking at it. He's like, "Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry to delay you. Just have a good day. I will be here late. I work pretty much all hours. So just knock if the lights aren't on, just knock on the door, right?"
Wait, before you go, Max, do you perhaps have any leathers that are magic resistant, would you say?
Magic resistant? No, I can't enchant anything.
Well, what's your thickest leather that you have? How much would it cost?
Oh, what are you looking for? Like some sort of
a sack, preferably.
Oh, a couple gold. I've got some really strong hide. One in the back that I use to carry broken glass and things like that are sharp.
I have to do. And he gives him like 5 gold. For the
Oh,
thing.
this is way too much. Way too much. He can't do like 4 gold pieces back. Just 1 gold is sufficient. Let me go back. He runs back inside. He brings a sack. It's like been reinforced with a couple layers of tough leather. He kind of shakes it out a little bit to make sure that nothing else is in there. Obviously, it's something he uses, but he's like, "Oh, it's yours."
And he's going to give him another gold piece just to say, like, "Hey, you didn't see us here.
Oh, okay.
We're doing business in the city, and it's just we'd rather not make our presence that well known."
Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah. So just take care of your friends here. The other one, he points at Basil Bexis. He looks a little bit off too, and kind of lopsided. But that doesn't matter. Just take care of yourselves.
These two like to get hit in the head a lot. It's just like something they do for fun.
Yeah. I don't know. But I'll be back.
He's going to give the leather sack to John Tor, and to put the thingy in.
Okay.
Don't even take it out the sack. Just drop the sack into the
into the next sack.
We're double bagging this thing.
Okay.
We're gonna triple bag it.
Yeah, Max runs back into his shop. And you make it. You still headed to the general store?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can, like some kind of metal flagoon, and Basil is also hoping he can replace the caltrops that he threw down. But I mean, those are going to be hard to find. He might need a blacksmith.
Give me a D6.
2.
Okay. So you make it to Sly's general store, and a dwarf greets you with like long braids that go like almost to his waist, and he's got a very colorful headband on. Welcome, come in.
Oh, you're just who I wanted to see. You deal in metal things, don't you?
We have assortments of items here. The general store. What do you wish? How can I guide you?
Well, 2 things I'm looking for. I don't know about my friends, but I'd like to find a nice sturdy goblet.
Goblet. Yeah, he walks over to a shelf full of various goblets and different metals, none silver, and he says, "Yeah, there's your assortment right here. Just yeah."
Anything in lead?
Lead goblet.
Nice and heavy.
Let's see. Does he have a lead goblet? Okay. He pushes a couple back, and he's got this ugly-looking lead goblet. It's been here a while. And
The Roman special.
he looks at the bottom of it. He's like, "Oh, sale today for you."
Is this before they found out that lead poisoning, or
The Romans found out about lead poisoning and kept using the lead because they were full of lead poisoning.
lead poisoning begets lead poisoning?
Yeah.
It's probably more complicated than that, but yeah.
Yeah. I simplify. So he says, "Well, I'll take it. Another thing I would love to be able to find, and I don't know. Sometimes the children call them jacks, and they play games with them. But no matter what you do, when you throw them on the ground, a pointy end stands up, and I'd love to find some of those."
Right. I want some jacks. That's it. It's jacks. By the way, can I have a sharpening stone? Yeah.
Yeah, he leads you to a couple of various shelf that's got some bags of like sharp little pointy caltrops.
Oh, I buy everything I can. I mean, like, well, at least a bunch like that.
And yeah, could I buy some as well?
All right, he's got like he pulls out like a box. You can see that he's got kind of hidden. He's got like 4 bags of caltrops.
If nothing else, it forced that ape to roll a dex check, even though he made it, went over it. Maybe the next time they fail that dex check. But at the same time, apes are badass.
Caltrops is 1 GP for a bag of 20.
Okay, so yeah, you buy all 4. It's 3 gold pieces.
Nice.
And
So-
for the chalice.
Yeah, it's a gold piece.
So I'll give him 3 gold pieces, and I guess we'll split the caltrops 2 and 2.
Yep. Sounds good. That's going in my belt pouch.
Well, John Torres go like, can I have that goblin, please? Can I have that?
Yeah, take it.
Let's see. He's not quite enough of an idiot to try to do this on the street, so he'll look for a side street or a side alley, and then try to very carefully slide the thing off of the shield onto the into the lead goblet.
Well, this thing is the size of like a pineapple.
Oh, so the goblet's not going to fit anyway, is it?
I mean, is that the intent, was to buy the goblet for it?
It was to buy the goblet to put that into.
Okay, yeah, we'll say it was big. That's why. Yeah, it's a huge goblet.
It's large enough. Yeah.
I mean, it's one that was sitting there. Nobody bought it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's,
So, yeah.
I guess
Probably
I was
'cause it was
thinking
too
of
big.
that pimp cup. You know what I mean?
So it sticks out the top, like the sack will stick out the top of it. But yeah, you managed to. You realize it's a little bit malleable as you kind of like it kind of fits in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well,
All right,
he's still not going to be touching the goblet with his hands, but he'll
probably a good call.
He'll use a stick or something to sort of push the goblet onto the shield, and so he'll be carrying the shield with the goblet sitting in the shield and the thing in the goblet. Like, oh, thanks, man. I feel better about this now, but I really think we need to get where we're going before sundown.
I think the sun's down, isn't it? Or is it not?
It's not dark yet.
Oh,
It's
let's
getting that
go.
way.
Yeah, let's get to blackmailing.
So for Zofan, mechanically, the leather helmet, it gives you, it's a negative 10% to any ability checks that you make with the helmet on, like acrobatic checks, but it gives you a +1 to AC and will negate 1 concussion. So if we roll up something and you get a concussion, it will negate that.
Nice.
He's like, can we negate the concussion that I have now?
Because I think technically you can't wear a helmet, but in this case it will take a little bit off, but also help you in that case.
+1 to AC.
Yep.
Negates a concussion.
Right. So if we roll it up and we go to or if it, you roll it on the death dismemberment chart, you get a concussion. It won't happen.
So next time we'll just take off his leg. No biggie.
Does so like after it negates the concussion, is it like no longer is it useless? Like
You know what? It might be useless at that point. I'll have to think about that.
yeah, like bike helmets, climbing helmets.
Right. It would be
Yeah.
destroyed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Hopefully you'll get some use out of it. Okay. So you leave the general store. You got your stuff. You put the thing, the crystal, the necrotic crystal in the mug. So what is the plan?
That's a good question. So how are we going to get this deck if we're planning on using this this thing as leverage? How are we even going to get that declaration out?
Okay, well, we need to have a chat. We need to have a chat about that. Orion's going to seriously veto that. The apes have so much more damn manpower that if we don't provide a credible threat, all we're doing by trying to contacting him is giving them a way to find us. if we do provide a credible threat, like, oh, we got this big dark crystal and it'll wake up all your dead, all I got to do is patrol the mausoleum or whatever it's called, a little tighter, and they still got us, and they still got a better chance of finding us. You know, Orion's like, this is the capital. They got all sorts of help here. You know, it's not going to be a big deal when it happens. It's just going to be a scare enough that we can hopefully go find Karn and get the heck out of here. But there will be no trying to threaten the government, because the government will threaten back, and they got the much bigger stick.
Well, then I guess our next step would be to actually, because we don't actually know how to activate this. So,
We just drop it. If it's anything like the Wagonbow Estate, we'll just drop it there, and it'll do everything else on its own.
It seems like it's already.
Yeah, it kind of does, right?
Yeah.
Seems like it's already doing its thing, whether we're activating it or not.
Yeah. So, and John Tor's like, man, I just want to put this thing down. Let's get where we're going and let me put this thing down.
So if you don't want to threaten them, what do you think we should do?
Yeah, at this point.
Well, the whole point I thought was to make a big distraction that would pull off a bunch of soldiers and allow us to hopefully get to Karn and get out of here.
So do we know where the mausoleum is, DM? Okay, we do. Okay.
Yeah, it is in. So there's this little caveat to that.
Mhm.
It's in the admin district.
So the seat of government. Cool.
Right. And don't forget, you were in there earlier today. Remember that was the chase?
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't. So you're randomly rolling to see where you ended up during the chase, and the mausoleum did not come up. But it is in the admin district, and all I have to say to that is, you know, you were there earlier today, so they're obviously aware something's going on. So there may be a heightened state of alertness with soldiers that are there.
Do we have to go there to use the crystal?
Well, I mean, we don't really know yet, do we? We haven't seen any corpses rising yet. And then Tamul's gonna like think about like, oh, like this is a pretty advanced city. Probably has like some sort of sewer system, right?
Bertram will tell you that there are some underground tunnels, but that's in where the lower classes are. There's really not an underground system. We're in the admin.
Yeah, it makes sense. That just flows downhill.
He says it doesn't mean Bertram says doesn't mean you can't get to the Grand Mausoleum. He said that would be the most effective if you could get that crystal in there, obviously.
Well, does Bertram know of it's stupid to say a back way in, but a less traveled way to get there? I mean, he's the guy who knows the city.
To get you to the Grand Mausoleum?
Yeah.
He says you probably have to do it when the sun goes down. And he says you probably have to kind of sneak around. I could probably get you close, but so as far as the Grand Mausoleum goes, there's a retaining wall that goes around the whole thing. And there are two entrances on either end. There are 2 guards at either end and 2 guards that patrol the perimeter.
How high is the retaining wall?
It's like 3 feet, but it's got bars that extend another 3 feet.
Oh. But John Tor's like, can we just go there and like toss it over the wall? I want to get rid of this thing real quick.
He says, but there's one thing you got to know. There's with the mausoleum is non-apes are not really are even allowed to go in. So if you get past the guards, which he looks at, he's like, somehow you seem to be able to do it. There's some kind of ape statue that's in the front, Saint Suschit, or they call him. I'm not really sure, but he's I don't he's something to do with the saint about the afterlife or something. But he knows your nature, and if he doesn't seem to, he only approves those who he deems your nature is appropriate, and then you'll be able to walk right in. But if you're not someone he approves, then I've heard people just like vanish.
So Ryan's like, okay. Much as I hate to agree with the kid here, I'm not a kid. It sounds like tossing this thing over the wall is going to be the best bet, because I don't feel like running another damn gauntlet today. So can we get close to the retaining wall? You know,
Basil says, I can get over this wall. What? It's 6 feet. What's the big deal?
You look at Orion in chainmail and the Jontor in plate, and neither of them are exactly acrobatic classes, and they just look at you like,
No, it's fine. Once he gets over, he can just drop a rope and we can climb over.
Right. I can get right in there.
oh, okay, you're going to take it?
I can practically jump over this thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be happy to hand this off to you.
I didn't say I was taking that thing with me. I said I could get inside.
What? I've been carrying it. You can take it the last little bit. I'll even give you my shield.
So before we go there, do you guys want to like find it? Actually, wait. Is it dark yet, or is it like an
No,
hour
it could
or
be
so?
dark if you want it to be dark.
No.
I mean,
Oh,
you
no.
I mean,
We're trying to beat the dark.
we are trying to. Yeah, but I mean, do we want to? Are we kind of like at a consensus where we want to go there and like try to get past the wall? Is that what seems like the plan, or are you guys thinking of something else?
Well, you know, point to note, let's see. John Torres' wisdom is only 8, but he's looking more and more nervous. So,
well, that's good.
chances are pretty good he's going to flake out at some point.
Yeah. So I mean, like, do we want to like, maybe we could like wait a day? Do we have to go there tonight?
You need to have something that can contain this. I mean, we have it's in the lead gauntlet.
How long can we contain this?
That is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner is better than later.
We would have to surround it with light the whole time. I don't know of anything else besides the metals that the lead that we already have. We would also have to surround it with light, and even then,
Okay, so
is there a? That's a good. I got an idea. I got one of those light bulbs.
Okay.
Magic shop.
We're in trouble.
Is there a magic shop?
In the Ape Empire capital where they frown on magic, is there a magic shop?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say anything.
You have to have a license for it.
Yeah.
I promise you he was already thinking of that.
Well, remember when we were in the arcane or the admin district and we were in the school and the guy told us, he was like, hey, we have all the components we need here. Maybe they don't even maybe that's not even a thing. Because he was kind of like, oh, it's weird that you're going out to look for components.
True.
Yeah. But
So Bertram will tell you that there is a place that sells magic curiosities and miscellaneous items here, but you got to kind of grease the wheels, for them to offer that selection.
Right.
On the off chance that they have, if there was some sort of device that could, some sort of box, if you will, that could perpetually shine light, as if it were coated on the inside with light, and we could put it inside.
He's trying to buy a microwave. The fuck.
No, I think he's trying a mirrored, so a mirrored enclosure is what you're saying. Is
Yeah,
what you're
if we
suggesting.
could put something with a mirror, but like it's magically lit so that it like,
Oh, you're looking for a magical light. Okay.
yeah, because if it's mirrored and it's dark, it's not gonna do much. But if it's like lit on the inside, like kind of like almost like a display case of sorts.
Well, no. Even if it's mirrored, like, what if we put like maybe like a candle or something in there, and like then the lights like kind of, maybe, I don't know.
No oxygen.
Oh, true. You're right. Dang it. Physics, damn you. Oh,
Unless we could find a magic candle that doesn't need oxygen.
Okay, if we can find a magical light, Orion might be willing to spring for it if it's reasonably priced. You know, a few mirrors and a magical light is doable.
What's our budget we're working with? Because I got like 26 gold pieces.
I've got a decent amount, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Dang it.
But you know, Orion's not going to talk about how much he has. But he can probably deal with it. He also knows that there are crazy ass bastards in this company who were walking around with thousands before.
I mean, I think some of that's on a yak. So
Yeah, good chunk of
There's
that's
a
on-
reason why Basil wants to get back to the yaks.
Yeah, I think Basil. I wrote it down. I think Basil's got a couple hundred on his person.
Sick.
Yeah. He had a total of 2520.
Ooh,
Most of that on the yak, but he has a couple hundred that he took with him. It pays to be an arm wrestler.
So
Better to be a thief.
So our current plan is to look around for a magic shop. If we find the magic shop, try to see if they have any light emitting trinkets.
So, wait a minute. If we manage to put it in a lighted enclosure, are we going to try to sneak it in at night, or are we going? Or does that just mean we're waiting until tomorrow?
If we can get it in, if such an enclosure existed, then we could unleash. We could bring it to wherever we would like it at our leisure. We wouldn't be confined to. It would buy us time to.
But what about Remy?
I'm sorry, I don't trust lesser magics to contain that thing.
What about Remy? We need to hurry up and get back to Remy too.
Yeah.
Remy's a thing, and Basil Wilberforce is really wanting to impress her because she doesn't like him.
Damn.
But he likes her. He's got
Orion doesn't. Orion is of the opinion, get this done and get the hell out too. So
yeah.
Should we just go straight to the place and like not worry about containment since we don't want to hold on to it?
This is the way of the thunderous fury. We rush in and we just get her done.
John's like, I really want to get rid of this thing.
Tamul would like to get rid of it as quickly as possible. And if we're going for the distraction option, then yeah, I think at this point he would trust Bertram to lead us to the mausoleum.
Yeah, we're not going to the entrances because obviously, there are all sorts of reasons why we're not going to be able to get in. The guards, the statues, just go to the side and toss it in and,
and see what happens.
Pray.
That's for Karn. He's the one that prays. I can climb right over and get it right in. It don't take nothing.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to see if it's trapped first.
Yeah, no problem.
What are we waiting for? Are we going now?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
So
Let's
somebody
go,
grab
let's
a
go,
plan.
let's go.
Somebody comes up. You see a man, a hooded man, whispers something to Bertram, and Bertram's like, "Okay." And Clintock and Felix leave with this mysterious person. He says, "There's some issues with your little get together tomorrow, so I'm gonna send those two to help convince this philosopher that's a good idea."
Uh-oh.
So Bertram leads you guys back through the market district, and you pass some more people who are headed to the train station. There's a couple that seem to be coming from the train station, probably because they work nights. And you come up to the bridge where there are 4 ape soldiers standing there. And this is the bridge that you had successfully navigated at one point. They seem to be on high alert since something has happened earlier in the day that aroused their suspicions.
Great.
Isn't there? Okay, so I'm thinking if there's a bridge that goes up and over, there's a way to go under the bridge.
Right. Yeah. It goes over like a river.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get in a boat if you wish.
How observant do they seem to be of?
They seem to be pretty observant. They're eyeballing everybody and
of under the bridge.
Oh, under the bridge. Occasionally they kind of look. I mean, it's not obvious to get down there. There's not like there's a walkway that goes underneath the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there is a path that goes under the bridge, but to get to that, you've got to walk a distance and then go down and around.
As we're walking up and he observes that Basil W grabs a hold of Tamil and Orion's shirts and just sort of plucks them and says, "Hey, come on, this way," and leads them off to the side. So it doesn't look like the party is instantly going, "Oh, apes, let's walk out." But hey, we're going this way. We're going this way.
Somebody knows how to avoid the cops or avoid rousing suspicion. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, cute girls this way.
Oh, where?
Yeah.
Show me where the hot mamas are.
Hot mamas are over here. He makes a loud cry out about the hot mamas. This way. And when we get off onto the side, says, we may want to think about going under the bridge, not over. Because they look like they're on guard. Maybe we can find a boat.
Boat doesn't sound like a bad idea.
That was Basil's idea before when he was stuck in the thing he was going to go on a different place and try to find a boat.
Good idea. I'm not feeling terribly well, so I don't think I will be particularly effective in getting past either under the bridge or over the bridge.
On the map that I remember looking at,
Mm-hmm.
it looked like there were places that had boats.
Yes.
Like
so
docks.
you could like double back and take you could go
Take a
all the way
boat and
back
go
to
way
like the
around.
lower class district and get a boat and go across without taking that bridge. Yeah, you could easily do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to pay for a boat or something like that and then take a different bridge.
Yep.
I'm all for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Bertram says, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So yeah, you guys double back. You navigate one of the footbridges, and you make it to the docks. You can see that there are soldiers walking around the docks because, of course, they've heard that somebody's in here causing problems, and they're still searching like merchant ships as they come in.
Hmm.
Boy.
Are they searching the ships that are leaving?
I mean, you can see a ship leave, but there's a ship docked, and all the sailors are kind of like standing on the dock as the soldiers are going on, and one of the apes is like talking to like one of the to like probably the captain, and they seem all annoyed.
Damn. I'm really missing Wes. He'd come up with some oddball plan or distraction.
So
I'm just not feeling it today.
So Bertram
Oh.
is like, I may know somebody. We're just trying to get across the bay here, right? Trying to get, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So he walks around some of the docks, leads you around like another 20 minutes,
Mhm.
and he leads you to another ship that is sort of docked, and it's still daylight, correct? He's like, how much money you got?
How much do you
How much I made?
I got a couple of golds I can put in.
Yeah, I could spare about 20 gold.
Okay.
Orion just goes, it doesn't spend when you're dead, and drops 100 on him.
Mm.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah. This. So yeah, he kind of like collects the money with his one hand, and puts it in his pouch. He's like, I'll be right back. And he walks through some people who are hanging out. People are hanging out the docks. You see a ship coming in. They're going to unload it. There's a ship that's sort of sitting by itself. There's one thing that you notice about this ship that's very odd. It is covered in pitch. And the pitch that you remember is, it looks very similar to the pitch that were on the watchtowers. Remember when you tried to burn them and they didn't burn?
Yeah.
It looks like the same pitch.
Ah,
So he walks over, and the sails have kind of a gray, they look weird. Like maybe they were colorful at one time, but they look just like they're toned gray. And he kind of runs over, and there's like a small little shack house that's sitting there. And you see one of the sailors come out, and the sailor steps out into the light. He has no hair. He is shirtless. He's got no hair, no eyebrows, no hair here, no beard, nothing. And he's like got a bunch of tattoos, and you see them talk, and he's like, he kind of looks over to you guys. He's looking around. He's like, and he just kind of like nods, and Bertram's like, let's go, come on.
all right.
saunter over there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow him.
Basil runs.
So yeah, they got the gangplank out, and you see all these guys come out. It's like a little hut that they've been kind of hanging out, probably drinking or whatever they're doing.
Mhm.
And they all come out, and they're all got like shorts and sandals. All of them have tattoos. They have no hair. Like on their arms, their legs, there is zero hair.
Interesting.
And they go running out to set up the ship, and a human man comes out. He looks older. He looks hardened. He steps out and he says, just across the bay you wish to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bertram vouches for you, and this coin does as well. So let us proceed. And he takes the money and puts it in his pouch.
So how did you burn all your hair off?
He just kind of looks at you, and he just kind of shakes his head.
Basil says, "Don't worry, we're cool." And he lights up something that looks a whole lot like a joint, and takes a puff and passes it over.
Is that opium?
Oh no.
Oh, not that strong.
Look, I'm
It's
not
just
gonna-
ganja.
He leads you up the gangplank. You get onto the ship, and you realize everything on this ship is covered in that pitch. The deck, the mast, everything that's wood.
Interesting.
And he
So
begins.
it's not really pitch.
No, like when you're stepping on it, it kind of crunches a little bit.
Okay.
But it's so thick that it's not like you're seeing the wood. Like it's not even. You know what I mean? It kind of like. Okay. He says this should.
So
be
it's anti-fire.
Right. You would assume
Yeah.
that it's to prevent things from burning.
Yeah. So in other words, Basil W hates it.
Yeah.
Because he loves burning things, right?
So this person who has come out is the captain, but who would he perceive as the leader of this group?
That's a good question.
Probably Orion.
Basil Wilberforce is shifty. Basil X has revealed himself to be a bit of an idiot. Sorry, Basil. But Zophan's out of it. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
probably
guess it's
Orion.
Orion. So he
Sure.
he walks over to Orion and says, "Pleased to meet you. I'm Captain Bosun.
Pleased to meet you also.
You have So the ship begins to move out into the bay. He's like, "You have issues with the Empire?"
Well, not so much. We mostly just like to avoid their eyes. Too much bureaucracy. It gets in the way of doing business, you know?
I as well. I as well. If you need a lift, you need to go somewhere, and I have alternate routes to get there that the Empire does not follow.
Excellent. We may look you up. Is this one of your usual berths?
This is the only one. It is the morning fog too.
Does he
Oh,
travel
that's
off continent?
Is that the name of the ship?
Yeah, morning fog 2.
Okay.
The sequel.
And you said
Maybe
the
that's why it's covered in.
Oh, he lost the last one in fire. Oh shit. Oh, that sucks.
I don't remember him, but his thunderous fury.
No,
met this guy before?
actually, you have not met him before, but he did appear in a previous campaign. So yeah, he makes it across and docks the ship over at the admin district. He kind of guides his boat to one of the docks. You can see that there are soldiers around, and he kind of
Yeah.
steps off the ship and walks up to a couple of the soldiers. You see an exchange, and they kind of look past him.
Right.
And he kind of turns and looks at you guys, and he just kind of nods like, "Time to go."
Well, time to go then.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys disembark, and all the sailors are just kind of standing there. And again, you realize that, like, they have no hair, and they're just
So, are they acting human? As
yeah. Oh
in,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They breathe, they
cultists.
talk, they
Yeah.
slouch, they curse. It's just for
Cultists.
some reason they don't have hair.
Yeah.
Mm.
And as you walk by, the soldiers don't really seem to take any notice of you. They just kind of nod, and you just Bertram. Everybody just kind of
Okay.
walks past them, and Captain Bosun kind of heads back to his ship. He stops you, Orion. He says, "Do you want me to wait here?"
Actually, I look at Bertram. You got a place for us to check out on this side?
Oh, boy, I think our closest safe house is probably going to be probably going to have to make it up to the industrial district up north of town. So
This would be good
So,
to come back to.
the answer is we probably do want the captain to wait. Yes.
Yeah,
Seems like it. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
So,
I'll tell the cat. I'll ask the captain to wait, and you know, like I said, doesn't spend when you're dead. I'll drop another 50 on him for
Okay.
his consideration.
yeah, you do that, and he's like, "Okay, well, thank you," and he takes his pouch out and kind of drops. So as you see him dropping the money in there, you realize the back of his hand and like his forearm is all scarred, like it's been burned.
Wait, what happened to you there?
Oh, just a lesson learned.
And Tamul will kind of like shiver at that. Oh, he was punished.
Yeah, we had one of
He's
our
not going to
guys,
delve deeper.
we had one of our guys learn the same lesson.
Yes.
Except it was mostly go for the spellcasters first.
Sometimes fire is the best teacher.
He chuckles at that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be here if you need me. I ain't going
All
anywhere.
right. Much obliged.
So he walks back to the ship. So you head up this long sets of steps that go up an incline to a place that's got some benches. Still daylight. There's some people just enjoying the view. The sunset is coming. And then there's another set of steps that come up to that retaining wall that he was talking about. And there are 2 ape guards standing there. And you can see the retaining wall go around, and you can see the Grand Mausoleum, and there's some trees. It stands out in its how it's designed.
Does it look like there's a way, like there's this retaining wall, and then there's like the mausoleum sits on top, and like there's like I'm picturing like a staircase that goes up, and that's where the guards are posted on.
Yeah, so right now you are on a place that's got like benches. You probably think this is a place for people just to relax and watch like the sunset or the boats come in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some steps that go up, not as many as you just took, that go up to a landing that has where the entrance to the retaining wall is. So the guards are there. That's where the doors are, and then you walk through there and go to the mausoleum, and the retaining wall goes around.
Does it look like there are ways to kind of skirt or like to get around to like different parts of the retaining wall?
Yes, you can, but you'll be kind of like you'll be out like sort of out in the open. But once you get close to there are some trees that go around the mausoleum, but they're inside the retaining wall. So you kind of are in the open, at least because it's grassy.
How hard would it be to get over the retaining wall without being seen?
Probably for somebody like Basil Wilberforce, who has certain skills, you could probably pull it off. It would probably require a check just so you could just take a quick jump. Because you could jump over, you could do a quick jump over the fence and then duck down behind the retaining wall, because then nobody would see you.
Right.
I would say for you, it would be a straight dex check. For anybody else trying to do it, well, I would say Zofan, but he's at a negative, unfortunately.
How does he's got I mean, he has climbed sheer surfaces as a
right, yeah.
How does the concussion? Because like a -4 on an ability check is, it's different when it's a D20 versus a D100. So how does that impact?
Yeah,
20% difference, right?
Yep. It's literally 20% difference.
there we go. So it would be
-20.
yeah, if you were to wear the hat, it's -30. So yeah, since you've got the climb to your surfaces, I'd say the same thing for Basil Wilberforce. It's just kind of and right over.
Wait, is it dark yet?
No, the sun is beginning to set, though. It will probably be dark in another 20 minutes.
Okay, well maybe we should wait for it to be dark.
Basil says, well, this is why we're here. And well, I don't want to wait for the sun to set. And he runs and goes out to some place where he thinks he won't be seen and tries to climb the fence and jumps over.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Is he taking the thing or not?
No, he's not taking the thing. He's just trying to get over it without being seen.
Get some more
So
time
how, if you're watching them, you can see that there are two guards up front, and then you can see the two roving guards go around. So I'm going to assume Basil's smart enough to wait for the two roving guards. You realize that there are two guards in the front.
Okay.
Right? And two guards go around this side. And when they hit the backside, two new guards come around, and they do this number. If that makes sense.
Okay, so does he spot like a dead zone?
Yeah, there would be technically a dead zone in there.
Okay. So I suppose he would wait for the dead zone, obviously.
Right. Yeah. So I would. Yeah, I'd give you that. So go ahead and roll climb sheer surfaces. I'll give. That'll be a roll. Just you hop over.
I got a 90% chance.
I'll
31.
roll. Okay.
Oh no, 37.
Boom. You're right over. You're inside the compound next to the mausoleum.
And now I'm trying to hide.
You can, because there are close to the mausoleum. There are some trees and stuff growing up. So there is actually cover.
When I have a chance to say anything, if I feel safe or comfortable with it, I'll say, toss me that damn accursed thing.
Oh, who's got the best throwing on?
Let's see. How are we going to do this? Let me count the ways.
This is how Basil W dies.
No.
So, all right. So it's getting. You're saying it's getting pretty dark, or it's getting near dark.
Yep.
Orion's going to look at John Tor and go, "Okay, toss it when I shine the light in the guard's eyes." And so Orion is going to. He's a bard. He can do the performance of the stupid guy lighting his lantern and trying hard to light his lantern, and finally lights his lantern and accidentally points the the lantern at the guards, you know. So yeah, he's gonna accidentally sort of spill a little extra oil so the darn thing, you know, catches on fire and, you know, pass it down and aids it away from himself and, you know, points it at the guards. And at that point, hopefully, Tor gets the clue and tosses the thing.
Okay. Yeah, you do that whole thing, and they're like, "What, you jackass!" And the guy's like, takes his shield out, and he's like it's like one of them moves over, is like, "What the hell are you doing?" And they're all pissed off at you.
I'll answer in oh, sorry, dude. It's just this is such a beautiful place. We wanted to come see you. Sorry, I mean, I didn't mean anything. I'm so sorry. And he'll say it in Simeon.
Okay. Yeah, they seem irritated, and then one of them says, the one that wasn't, is like, "Thought I heard something." Oh, well, just we'll check it when we go around.
When the guy holds up his shield and sort of deliberately blocks his line of sight, John Tor will chuck the vase o' doom, the mug o' doom.
Okay, yeah, it clanks on the ground, Basil, and is sitting there in the inside the fence.
I'll make sure that I'm not touching the jewel itself or whatever.
Okay.
And scoop it back up into the make sure I'm, you know, scooping it into the goblet or whatever.
Yeah, it stayed in the goblet. The goblet just made a loud clang when it hit the ground.
All right, and after I pick it up, I look around and see if anybody's noticed me.
No, you like scoot back into the bushes or whatever. Nobody notices you.
I'm inside the mausoleum. I've got this piece, and nobody has noticed me.
Yes, you're on the grounds, correct. And you know that the staircase is in front of you. There are it's on either side. There are two staircases. And you did notice that there was some sort of ape statue in the very front that seems to have it's hard to see in the daylight, but as it gets dark, you can see that there is a golden glow coming from it.
Anything from the backside?
It looks like the same thing. It looks like they have the same arrangement on either side.
Oh, so they'll catch me if I try to get up there.
I guess Samul, seeing this, seeing the guards distracted, he's going to go up there and try to make his way over the wall to where Basil is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Just if you realize, I don't know if you realize in time, but Orion and John Tor aren't going to try. I mean, as far as they're concerned, this is as far as they're going, and we've done most of the job. Perfectionist for people who want to get caught.
Fair enough. DM, what check do I make to get over the fence? You said it was a dex check?
Yeah, it'll be a dex check, yeah.
That's going to be a 14, so it's like 7 over.
What's your dex?
It's 7.
Okay, so you're climbing up. It's a little bit harder. Basil apparently made it look real easy.
He did.
And you're slipping, and you can hear somebody say, "Hey, dumbass!" And one of the apes from one of the far end comes running very fast. He's like, "Get off that fence, you!" And he starts yelling in obscenities and Simeon at you.
Ah! And he'll just kind of like fall off on the other side if he can.
Well, you can't get all the way over. You're still on this side.
Oh, so like I'm still on the. Oh, damn it!
Yeah,
okay.
you didn't even get all the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you big fail.
Crap.
Honestly, I don't know why you're trying to get over there. Our thief is already there with the package, so
He's kind of worried about Basil just a little bit.
Okay.
It's been taking a bit of time.
You guys decide what your plan is. I'm going to roll. I rolled a 5. We don't have somebody roll their initiatives.
Definitely not Zofan.
I can't roll either. I'm just telling you.
all right. I've got a +1.
I have concerns for Basil Wilberforce's life from now. I feel like it was too easy for him to get into where he got.
It's possible.
And it's going to be too hard for him to get back up.
Get this thing on the property and walk away. But now we're getting guard attention because somebody climbed up on the fence. So it's like,
don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well, I mean, was that really all we wanted to do was get it over here and then get away?
yeah.
I mean, didn't we have to activate it in some way?
I think it just
Oh.
does it. It just does its thing,
Okay.
It just does its thing.
as far as we're aware.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it was. We don't
So,
exactly know.
From Ryan's point of view, planted on the grounds and GTFO. And he doesn't know what the hell Tamel's thinking. But in any case, do I need to roll? Is anybody else rolled, or do I need to actually roll for initiative?
I think
Well,
you're the
I
one
would
with the
say
best,
Tamul is out, and I would say Zofan and Basil Bessics are both out. It'd be up to Wilberforce or Jean Tor or Orion.
Well, I've got a +1, so I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Yeah.
4 + 1 is 5.
All right. You guys are up first.
So what's happening?
This is what you see. Basil is hidden behind the retaining wall. Tamul ran up and tried to climb the retaining wall, kind of slipped down. And you see an ape running at full speed, yelling at Tamul in Simian obscenities. Unknown what he will do.
Okay.
Is he going to pull his sword out and just cut him down? Who knows?
Who knows, right? So Orion is going to. Can I get to Tamul this round? Because presumably we're not too far off.
Yeah, you could probably get to him. Yeah, because you were right
Okay.
up there with the whole distraction.
I will run up to Tamul and try to grab his robe or whatever and go and loudly, but I can't do it in Simian because I don't think Tamul knows Obsidian.
No, I know
Did
Simeon.
you-
Yeah, he knows Simeon.
What?
Yeah, I
He
can
knows
speak it.
Simian. Okay, I'll do it in Simian. Did you start drinking early today? Are you crazy? Only the apes get to go in there, and I'll be hanging on to this rope, trying to keep him from going in there.
Yeah, Tamul, he'll reply in Simeon, just like, my head. And try to like lean into the drunken stupor type thing.
Okay. All right. You guys are doing that.
Hopefully we don't look too much like grave robbers.
And Basil is not moving an inch. He's just frozen in place, going,
Okay. Basil's not moving.
He's. I mean, I expect he's already hidden, right? So
Right.
he's
Yeah.
just like,
You were
just
already
like-
hit.
Zofan and Basil are both concussed, so getting them involved is ill advised. So they are merely going to wait on the precipice and see what unfolds before they do anything.
Okay. All right. John, what's John Tor doing?
Looking around confused.
Okay. Now, what's he really?
that's
No,
about right.
other than that,
Like-
other than his normal stick.
Right. No. He's like, he's literally looking back and forth between those two on the fence going, what's going on?
Oh Lordy.
Yeah. So one of the apes kind of turns around. He sees this whole thing, and the ape comes running down and stops, and he pulls out his sword like he's about to crack Tamul in the head with the butt of his sword, and he stops and he's like, "What? Just get the hell out of here! What are you idiots doing?" As he speaks to you in Simian.
And Tamul's just gonna kind of like slowly back up a bit, you know. It's just like,
I'm sorry. They must have gotten something in their food today, or maybe they started drinking early. I don't know. I'll get them away from here, officer. I'm so sorry. And yank.
Yeah, get going. And he kind of looks at the rest of the group, kind of lingering. Take the rest of them with you. This is no place to hang out.
No problem. We'll go. And I'll say this just a little louder. You know, Well, go look at the ships on the river. That always calms them down.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like you're hurting a bunch of mental patients. You got somebody there with a leather helmet and
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
so one
Well, I mean-
arm bigger than the other.
Two of them are sort of obviously concussed, and
So yeah, you lead them down. And,
so yeah, I'm just gonna head back to, because again, I wasn't quite clear on what Bertram said, but it sounded like we weren't going to be able to bed down on this side, right?
yes, you can. You have to go north. There, he said the safe house is all the way north up to the industrial district. So
Are there docks there? Can we take our friendly captain?
yeah, you
up
could
there?
actually take a ship and kind of scoot up the coast. You know, up the harbor. Shouldn't say really coast. The harbor. Yeah, he could take you up there. So,
Okay. Well, obviously, unless everybody else fights me on this, I'm going to get them back to the ship and say we're waiting on a friend. But if it gets too late, we'll set off anyway and just hang out there while Basil W does his thing.
Unless anybody fights, yeah, you could walk them down the steps, and you hear something. One of the apes yells in Simeon, which the two of you would hear, is like, "We ain't getting reassigned like those other dumbasses." And so things seem to calm down a little bit, and that soldier kind of lingers at the fence for a little bit longer, kind of looks very suspicious, and then they go and continue to make their rounds again. So, Basil, what's your plan?
Well, I mean, if the plan is just to get the jewel onto the grounds, I'm here.
Right? Yep.
Except, maybe hide it a little, dig it in, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just worried that it's got to be inside the mausoleum, not outside the mausoleum.
Yeah, that's we really don't know.
If it's open,
I look at I open up the leather sack and I try to look
I'll
inside this thing.
point out, Basil, I'll point out you were at the Wagonbow Estate, and it was like, by the time it finished, it was hundreds of acres being affected.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I look inside the sack and I try to get an idea of what this thing is doing now.
You look inside the sack?
Yeah.
All right, save versus death.
Oopsie.
God damn it, I had to say that, didn't I? All right, saving throw versus death.
Come on, you
I
got
got to
this.
get over a 12. I need my big dice. All right, these are my big dice.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I got a 13.
Okay.
One over.
So you do that, and like some like flying earwigs or whatever come floating out, and you just miss inhaling them, and they kind of flutter up, and then it looks the crystal is undulating, and you can see the moss like moving, and the bag inside the bag, that sack is just black.
You're going to give us an earwig phobia.
Good.
For real.
So I take this thing, and I climb to the top of the fence, and then I toss it at the ape. That's the ape figure that's guarding the mausoleum.
Okay.
And then I jump down and I run like a motherfucker.
Okay. Give me climb sheer surfaces.
All right, I got a 71.
So yeah, you toss it. It's about dark. You toss it. It goes through the bushes. You can hear it hit. Like it makes more of like a splat noise. Like you throw the whole bag, didn't you?
Yeah, that's all of it. Just
The tankard, yeah, the whole thing. Dang, dang. It like lands on the right near the door in that statue. And one of the guards is like, "What the fuck was that?" He's like, he starts running back there to see what's going on. You just jump off the fence and start hauling ass, and you run down.
I'm out of there.
Yeah, you go into the ship.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you run down to the ship.
So we have just raised the undead.
Presumably, we haven't seen any undead being raised yet.
Presumably.
Presumably.
We have some
Maybe
seeds,
kinda.
but we have yet to see the flower.
While Karn, unknown to us, is working a deal. Or possibly
Right.
working a deal. That precludes all this.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
We don't know that at all.
Yep.
All right. So
Sorry.
you
I'm thinking about being a peacemaker, and we're just leaving things in pieces. Yes, indeed.
Yes, absolutely. That dwarf gave him good advice.
So yeah, you get onto the boat, and Captain Bosun's like sitting there on a crate that, of course, is covered in like this black pitch, and he's not wearing his cloak. He's got just like a sleeveless shirt on. You can see his arms are all scarred like from a burn. And he hears you guys coming up, and he puts his cloak back on, and he says, time to go. And then he looks and sees Basil come running down the hill. It's like, I guess you time to go.
Sort of an aid for him because Basil's running down the hill going, time to go, time to go, time to go, time to go, time to go.
Yeah, we have to lean on Bertram for where directions to where, he can tell the captain where to dock. And
Yeah. So you take he takes his ship and goes up the coast as you go past the docks up to where you see another large bridge. And then you can see like the industrial district. It's got a foundry, giant smith's shop, and just what looks like factories, like large buildings. And you dock there, and Bertram leads you out. You pass a couple soldiers, not ape soldiers, who don't seem to bother you, and he leads you down past a couple large buildings, and you go in like a side door to a building, and the steps just lead down. He leads you down some steps and opens the door, and there's a small little room down here with some mats on the floor and some food. Looks like they got some fruit or some meats, and there's a painting of it's like that elf that they had talked about, and he immediately goes to the painting and looks and makes sure the rune has been chalked on the wall, and puts the painting back. And
John Tor will wander over and look over his shoulder, since as an elf he can actually do arcane magic, and he did look at the last.
Right, yeah, it looks pretty similar. Yeah.
So he's going to sort of look and try to see if it looks good from what his very limited understanding is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Bertram's like, well, I guess success.
Yeah. Now it's a matter of waiting for the distractions and getting Karn the heck out.
So you guys just gonna rest here for the evening, I guess.
Yep. That's the plan.
Well, I don't think we'll need to rest too long. It should presumably start taking effect fairly quickly.
Well, here's the thing. We've got the other distraction being that guy we were trying to get in to renounce his renouncing.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's going to happen, well, theoretically going to happen anyway. And, as much as that crystal is nasty ass business, I doubt it's going to be tonight when things go bad, because, think about how long it took the Wagonbow Estate, and then what's his name has had this crystal for a while, and it was eating its way out, but it wasn't quite there yet. So Orion is not expecting this to happen tonight, and as far as he's concerned, might as well sack out and be well rested for when shit does go down.
It makes sense. And yeah, I think we should too. It's just take a rest.
All
Let's
right.
say everyone else.
My head hurts.
We gotta get you some real rest, man. We gotta get you some medical attention. Something.
Time and not getting smacked around in combat. Speaking of which, what's the recovery rate? Because Orion is down 3 hit points. That's a good question. I mean, technically, do we have a night of rest since we got to this city?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So Orion
So
did.
how-
Yeah. Orion had
Yeah,
at least.
so how much? Yeah, he was down 3 hit points, and he didn't take him in this city. So how much does a night of rest recover?
1d3.
Yeah.
1, of course.
Oh.
But, I'll take it. It's better than not recovering. Sorry to be boring, but, Orion the Bard frequently laments that he is the practical and boring one. When he's supposed to be the Bard telling the stories and doing the wild shit, Orion laments that he's the practical and boring one.
It says he's
And
like,
the
I tell
rest of-
tales of the shit. I don't actually do it.
Yeah. Clintock's the master of, schemes and lies. And Orion's like, I can't top that.
So yes, you will rest. I can say right now that John Tor will now experience level 2
Oh,
Ah,
because this is Russell's second character, and experience points, a base amount of experience carry over. So it's not like you start from 0 if you die.
okay.
And for Tamul, you're pretty close. You might get it. I'll let you know as you take your rest, but you're pretty close to second level, which will be good. I was very, very, very concerned when you went down the well.
Me
Because
too.
if you had lost that initiative, that thing would have killed you.
When you're level 1, you just die.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much. This is
When you're level 2 or higher, you go to that. What's that?
Death and dismemberment.
Death and dismemberment.
Yeah. So
Where you got a chance to live through dying.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Alex, Ryan's actually my third character. So the first one almost lasted the episode. I mean, literally, it was like 3/4 of the way through, and he had a chance to make it, and ended up dissolved in a sea of acid. That was fun.
What is that
No
game?
guardrail, huh?
It uses the funnel. You start at level
Fatal
0.
DCC.
DCC, yeah,
Fatal
yeah.
funnel.
And so it's like, you got a bunch of characters, and it's like, what makes it through the funnel? I think of this game like that.
Yeah.
You make it past level 1. You made it past the funnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my second character, so my first character was a mage with 2 hit points. I mean, I almost named him Born to Die because he had an 8 dex and an 8 con. It's like, so,
I already
yeah,
have an assassin rolled up, so hopefully we
Good.
can slot him in next if he dies next session.
Basil Wilberforce should have died. He should have died. And he just ran from everything. He just literally
that's true.
ran
Yes.
from everything.
Yeah.
the continuation of John Tor was originally we rescued an NPC slave elf from the Underdark by the name of Torjan. Literally swapped the 2 syllables.
Yeah.
And, Torjan survived long enough to be my backup PC because everybody here needs a backup PC because death. But Torjan finally carked it and failed 2 resurrection rolls. The first one and the hustle point one. And so Torjan died, and I made John Tor the elf in homage to Torjan the elf.
Hey, Torjon was a badass, man. He went down swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They tried to res him and he failed the res check.
Oof.
Yeah.
I did have the Grand Mausoleum thing set up. There was a thing that I tried to hint what was going to happen, but it didn't happen, so we didn't have to worry about it.
Obstacle avoided.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Which
far as
was
I'm
kind of so yeah, which was kind of funny because I can't really bring it up, but one character in the party would have walked right past it without any problem and wouldn't have bothered them.
I already know who it is. It's
okay.
Okay. My theory on the statue is I was like, oh, it's probably some never-ending story bullshit where like, where it's like if you're not whatever, it'll zap you. So you probably have to be like a certain alignment.
You're definitely treading down the right path.
Nah.
John was the only one that's chaotic.
Orion is chaotic as well.
Oh,
Orion? Orion?
Oh, so it wasn't John Tor or Orion.
So,
But everybody else is neutral except for Karn.
No, Tamul is lawful.
Guess who's lawful? It's me, baby.
Tamul is lawful. Oh. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Tamul is lawful. Okay. What the fuck are you doing with this sad
I
snack?
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I know. Really?
Oh no.
they look like upstanding. They could be saved, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, some of us could be saved. Some of us could be pulled over to the lawful side.
Perhaps or not.
And I felt bad for Dustin's character, so that's why the NPC gave him that helmet.
Nice.
Yeah. I knew there was a reason that I never went for helmets, and that
I'll avoid at least one concussion. You'll be safe one session.
I got like because it takes it's only a D3 per night of rest, and we just kind of go in. He's got like Zofan's got 1 hit point, so like he's 1 hit point away from getting a concussion.
Oh, that's right, because of the last. Yes.
Yeah, you got brought back up, and you don't get full health back. So
Wow.
Basil's also pretty hurt.
The reality is that there are a couple of doses that Basil W has of healing that he could probably give you 1 or 2 shots of.
Yeah, what he needs is that house with that houses of healing, or that masseuse.
Well, I got news for you guys. Orion hit 5th level. He got a 2nd level spell, and he can pick up minor healing, but it only does like 1d6.
Yeah.
That's like half of Zofan's health.
Yeah.
Kind of full heal.
I'll pick it up when I rest tonight. If thanks for reminding me. I will especially remind me next time. I'll go ahead and pick it up and use it, because we can't have you walking around at 1 hit point.
Well, Basil will dole out a thing of healing potion too, so he'll go down to 4 if you want to roll that.
That is a 7. It's a 6, so it's 7. He's almost back to full.
Okay,
Nice.
so the plan is to. I was gonna say you gotta get through the night. The plan is to have whatever is going to happen at the lecture hall and hope that whatever you did creates a distraction and get Karn out.
That's
Yeah.
the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I was hoping Flintock was here, because it was more or less his plan.
Right.
And
Right.
the other thing was he realized we weren't getting away by land or by teleport, and so he wanted to arrange a boat to pick us up, during the confusion, and we
Okay.
can sail away into the sunset or whatever.
And we got a boat now.
We do have a boat.
Yes, you do.
If they're willing to do it.
But I appreciate it, guys. If I don't talk to you or see you, have a good Thanksgiving.
You too.
And I appreciate you
Yeah.
playing and look forward to the next session. Thank you.
Thanks for running.
Sounds good. Thank
All right.
you for running.
All right. Take
Yeah.
care.
Thanks
Good
for
night, John.
running. Great time.